Hiya, papaya. It's me, Vicky Schmidt, from everyone's favorite game, Monster Prom, Monster Road Trip, and Monster Camp.
Barrier phase, emblem of fate! Corin!
Wow, you're just gonna summon Emblem of Fate Corin? Wow. Unprompted? That's a bit rude, isn't it, Possum? Unpromptedly summon Corin on like that? Wow. Anyways, how's everyone's day been so far? I started my day off with waking up to Rat playing DDLC's. What's the song called again? Your Reality? That's not it. Wait, I started my day off at 4 a.m. at 5 a.m. at 6 at 5 a.m. Wait, watching and sorry, well, I'm great. I started my day off at 5 a.m. waking up to the sound of Doki Doki Literature Club, and then looked at my phone. It was a Rat playing Osu. What a great way to start the day. And then I proceeded to not sleep. I just closed my eyes and didn't sleep. And then occasionally opened my eyes again, picked my phone up, typed in chat, went to sleep again. Well, closed my eyes again, opened them again. Did the cycle repeated until Rat ended stream? Maybe. No, that's not when I stopped. I just died. At some point, I just passed out, woke up at 9, and here we are. That's so sad, Ruby. Depressing. Anyways, let's see what happened last time in NPG, National Park Girls. Good question. Met Eve, lovely little Eve with her freckles and ginger hair. Look at her. Look at her. What a lovely thing she is. And then we met Yosemite. Not pronounced Yosemite, as I almost did. Because Yosemite is not how you say the word Yosemite. Even though it's spelled like that. It's not, that's not how you say Yosemite. The bean. A little sassy bean. Yosemite. Yo! Semi-truck! Yo, you got a semi-truck? We met the lovely Yosemite. She's a little sassy little bitch. But we love her. We met the very energetic and spunky Yellowstone, who has a volcano on her head. Where's the geyser? I don't know exactly. I have only seen fumes and water come out of it so far. So I'm not quite sure. And then we love the bean. The bean! Zion. Zion! The lovely bean Zion. She's a bean. We love her. We love her lots. We love her lots. And with that real quick, really shitty recap, also, the forest was on fire.
You lots, right? Course I do! Love you lots too!
The forest was on fire because some idiot fucking campers, decided, yeah, let's start a fire with a cigarette. Yeah, don't do that. That's not advisable. Don't do that. Anyways, it's now time for episode. Where is it? Big Flan. Bye. Episode 2 time. The sound whips through the air. But from what? Who? Look around, but I don't remember telling myself to turn my head. Like I'm trapped. Like I'm a trapped observer in my own body. There are people crowded around me and gasping. There are trees too. Whole clearing of them, in fact. A few of them are even lined up in a row. All of them are dipping. Dripping, not with sap, not with water, too. Not as nature intended. It drips with fresh, green paint. Bleeds into the bark. At the first tree, there's a tail. Where I'm standing, it looks like like it looks like connects. It looks like it connects to the next tree in a row. In the row, a long serpent-like body painted through it. This goes on for so long, for too long. Each tree dripping paint down to the soil, entombing its roots. And finally, at the last tree, head of a dragon, wearing a baseball cap and smoking a blunt. I know it's a blunt because the smoke is a lighter shade of green. Smoke that surrounds me. Smoke that becomes fog. A voice springs out from the fog. I recognize it. Her. Jessie. Why does she sound scared? Why does she sound shocked? Why does she sound furious? Did I? Did I? Is that what I did? What did I? On the ground is a man, withering on the dirt, sobbing into a patch of grass. He's covering his mouth, his nose. Blood seeps through his fingers. Blood seeps into the dirt. That's impressive. That's some impressive force you got there, Eve. I'm into that. I mean, what? No game audio? Oh, I turned the fucking thing off. Thank you. Try to turn the game audio sound source off on this group.
You, you, you bitch! What the hell? You broke my jaw! You broke my jaw!
There we go, much better. We got audio exist. His voice muffled. Words tremble into panic.
Yeah? Well, your fucking neck is next!
Oh shit! That's hot!
Don't you take another step!
My hand, I assume it's my hand, is balled up to a fist. Blood speckles the knuckles. I open it up and stare at my palm. So, what was that?
Oh god, it hurts. This is assault, you whore. I'll press charges. Sue you and this entire park.
Oh! With his hand on his face, my fist hit it.
How about I work those charges up to murder then?
He reels back, raising his hands to shield himself. The green paint stains his hand. Staining his hand begins to mix with the blood. I start to stomp over to him. Stop. Stop. Stop.
Stop! You've gone too far this time, Eve. Not far enough. Not until he's learned some respect.
Stop. He tackles me from behind, restraining me with a full Nelson.
Get off of me!
Please. Stop.
All you're doing is incriminating yourself. Now stand down!
No! I don't care anymore!
I elbow Jessie in her gut, struggling to break free, but her grip is like a locked chain. Someone stop her.
This is an order, Adams!
Someone stop me.
Eve!
Stop.
Eve!
Stop!
Eve!
It should have been bad. Sweat sticks to my pajamas. Breath trickles into my suffocating lungs as I gasp desperately for air. A pair of arms wrapped around my chest like constructive rope. Constrictive rope. Constructive. Fix the door. 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 With a few grunts, I wriggle onto my side. My cheek rolls into a shallow pool of drool as I'm confronted with Yellowstone's murmuring face, and buffalo print pajamas. Ooh, they're buffalo printed.
Administration is gonna flip your fries and malt.
Fries and malt is quite an interesting phrase. What? Why are these fucking headphones just being a bitch? They're being really quiet. Snuggling up to me, she squeezes me tighter. I think I preferred Jessie putting me in a submission hold. I should put in a request for a door. Yellowstone gives an unconscious grunt, then snores into the fabric of my shirt. This is us. This is all of us. Yellowstone's all of us right now. This is all of us. This is what we want to do with Eve. Look at her. She's so happy. Not going up to Eve like that. Scratch that. I should put in a request for a door with a lock. I fall back to my pillow. The faded morning light glitters through the window, anchoring me to the present, where my worst mistakes are behind me and above my shoulder, just still behind me. Hard and cold. Eve soft and warm. What's this pillow? What? What is this? I have never seen a pillow that looks like there's nails bored into them. Huh? Blackberry. Buttons? It looks weird. They look really weird. Those look like really weird buttons. I mean, logically it makes sense, but also, I have yet to see a pillowcase with buttons in my lifetime. I've seen with zippers, but that's it.
You know I love you lots, right? Course I do! Love you lots too!
Hi, Bolivia. Welcome. You're late. You're late, Bolivia. The mini volcano protruding from Yellowstone's head puffs out light dots of smoke, matching the rhythm of her breath. I follow the smoke until it dissipates into the padded ceiling. From there, I cut the wood beams and run across it. There are some nightmares we relive every day.
That's it. I'm switching to decaf before bed.
Squeeze me, Yellowstone. I need to get up for work. Thank you. Please, I need to work. Move, please. Thank you. National Park. What the f? Why did I see outside for a minute there? Amazing! I somehow managed to look mildly more dead inside than I usually do. I poke at the rusting crow's feet that have nestled in the deep bags beneath my eyes. There's a brief lightning strike of panic, a moment where the blades of mortality slap me across the face. But it subsides, and I swallow most of my emotion. This one. I'm just tired, but at least I'm not exhausted. Not today, and not even yesterday, in fact. I slip on my uniform, button my shirt, my badge is pinned to my chest. Crooked and clinging to the wrinkled fabric. It might I can't read or word. It might distinguish my authority as a ranger, but in the end, it's just a hunk of metal. People generally get the message once they see the hat in khakis.
Don't forget about the dishes, Yellowstone.
I'll hop right on it. Yellowstone, is my oatmeal ready yet? I hope it has raisins. I like those. All the raisins you want, cutie. Just need a sec.
Yellowstone zips across the cabin. A stack of dishes teetering on her head. She bends to grab the trash and loose clothes. Hunched over the table. Yosemite! Yosemite flips a page in whatever tome she's reading today. Her fist glued to her chin. A castle of stacked mugs skirting next to her elbow. Whoop. The crisscross applesauce on the floor, looking Pup's coarse fur, his bony frame curled up on his brand new doggy bed. Pup stretches, his silent yawn shaping into a faint howl. Or coyote bed, I guess. Technicalities. I step out of my corner of the cabin, right as Yellowstone comes charging past the divider curtain. Our foreheads crack together, skin and stone colliding. Off the edge of her volcano scrapes across my forehead. I stumble back. My hand jerks up to soothe the pain, but a leaning tower of dishes slides towards me. Before they shatter before my very eyes, I push against them. Yellowstone's head jolts up, bounces the plates. One sticks out like a Jenga piece, otherwise no damage. I breathe out a sigh of relief.
Holy smokes! I'm so sorry. I was gearing up for laundry and I wasn't thinking and...
Yellowstone.
I grip her shoulder and cut off her babbling.
It's okay. I'm only slightly irritated.
Her skin is pale enough to make me think her soul has been sucked from her body.
Nuh-uh, no way. I goofed. What if you got cut? Then Yosemite would yell at me and I'd need to scrub the blood off before it stains oh no. Coffee.
Panic pumps the color back into her.
Oh jeez. Not good. Not good.
She curls her hand into a fist and swats her volcano. The dishes wobble over.
Stupid.
Over.
Why do I keep screwing things up?
And over.
This is not hippy-skippy!
Not hippy-skippy at all.
English. Now.
I forgot to make your coffee, Eve!
This is almost too exhausting for me to deal with. I don't even laugh if it didn't look like her heart was about to swan dive out of her chest.
Is that it? Don't get so worked up. I can do it myself.
Really? You're not gonna give me a knuckle sandwich? Because I'd give me a knuckle sandwich.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be knuckle sandwich Yellowstone. She raises her fist to plonk herself over the head again. Just somebody glances up, more interested in polishing off the pages. She's on than anything around her.
Hey, quit it.
She stuffs her nose back into her book.
And don't forget about the laundry.
Concerned, Leon whips around, look at us. For at least the 20th time this week, I find myself wondering how much a small girl can hold so much panic.
Please don't hurt yourself. It makes me sad.
She doesn't hit herself, but everything else she said must have gotten drowned out. Yellowstone's eyes swim in her sockets, landing on random corners of the room, like something is about to leap out of her, eat her.
You holding up okay?
Her eyes flutter, then focus on me. She grins and shoots me a thumbs up, proof enough for me that she never hopped off her usual non-stop sugar rush.
Yep, just dandy. That's just a little sore from when you shoved me out of bed.
I slap past her, pushing out one last yawn as I start the kitchen.
Stay out of my bed. I'm not the cuddling type.
Aw, but your bed is so soft and cozy. Just like you, dollface.
Hey, Yellowstone. My bed is only for 2 people. Me and Yosemite. Maybe Zion if she's nice. Give her nice nighttime hugs. But Yosemite and Eve. That's those only people who are always allowed in the bed. Okay? Maybe Zion's fine sometimes. He's scared and has a nightmare. I'm not sure which one I feel first. My eyes twitching or my cheeks burning. It's so made worse by Yosemite snickering behind the safety of her book. Coward.
Can it, before I pour coffee in your head.
What's the matter? Big bad ranger gaining a little weight? Does she not have abs of steel?
No, but she has fists of them.
Also, I have nice pillows. There's pillows down here, you know. You want to try out the pillows? Yosemite,
The scariest thing about that threat is how stale it's gotten.
I have towards the sink to ignore her, choosing to fill up the percolator instead. It's not my fault Yellowstone uses a stick of butter in all her cooking.
Say, do you care if I rake up all your dirty clothes? It's laundry day.
Laundry? What a novel concept.
Disney mumbles loud enough for the point to get across. Yellowstone's smile fades and her gaze droops down.
Go ahead. Knock yourself out.
With pleasure.
Don't do that actually though. She thinks behind the corner. Zion watches intensely, observing Yellowstone as she gathers up my clothes. With Zion's attention drawn away and in desperate need of more morning pets, Pup hops out of his bed and braves the world. He buries his snout in my leg. I let the percolator fill up with water and bend over to scratch his ears. He leans in, grunting in ecstasy, his ears flopping up and down like a flag in the wind. If clocking some dumbass in the face gets me mention and banished here, I can only imagine what Jessie would do if she found out I wasn't just petting Pup, but housing them as well. I crack on the stove and pour in the coffee grounds. I gaze at the window, waiting for the coffee to boil. Across the road, past the field, I spot the butt end of a motorhome, big enough for me to know someone is compensating for something. Even when muffled by the wall of trees, their argument.
Christ, Shannon, I'm doing what I can.
Man,
Clearly you aren't. Every time I asked, you insisted, Steven, that there was a hookup. Every time.
a woman.
I didn't drive 2,000 miles just so you can nag me. God, you're just like your mother.
Definitely married.
It's always my mother with you, isn't it? Well, if I was shower in one of those germ shacks. You won't have to worry about her ever again. Or me.
Those germ sacks are publicly funded miracles. DOI willing. Ungrateful ass.
Just listen to them, pup.
Ugh. His ears perk up and his head tilts. I think he'd listen to me instead. He looks at me instead.
They'd rather sleep in a tin can than a tent. How do you mess up camping that bad?
You're too. Enjoy the fucking grass, my god. I know, right? Pop paws on my legs, a desperate plea for pets? Absolutely, but I have a desperate need for validation, so I think this is a reasonable trade-off.
Idiots. The hookup is at the campground. How much longer do you think it'll be until they decide to dump the septic tank?
I think a better question is how much longer you're going to use your nihilism as a security blanket.
Until they're all dead.
Hell yeah.
I have 7 billion pieces of bad news for you, and you're one of them.
Oh yeah, I am. Coffee boils over the spout and dribbles down the percolator. I twist off the stove and bring my boiling pot of sunshine.
Keep patronizing. If a tiny forest fire makes you come down with a fever, I can't wait to find out how bad you smell when Mr. and Mrs. Crisis Counseling decide trash cans are too complicated.
I reach for the dirty mug bouncing on top of the 5 others, like I've done thousands of mornings before. I pour the still simmering coffee.
Just what do you think you're doing?
I tip the percolator back. 3 drips already speckling.
Pouring coffee.
Into a dirty cup?
Glance back at the mug. A ring of yellow tea residue circles around in the middle. The myrtle.
Looks fine to me.
Somebody gets the ears flattened.
But I just drank out of it.
I'm not skipping my morning coffee because of your slobber.
I pour the rest until it nearly flops over the edge of the cup. Keep my eyes locked with Yosemite's. I take the first sip.
I can't believe you! You are so gross!
Aren't you the one who uses the same tea bag over and over because you don't want to be wasteful?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's different.
How? How so? Y'all liking my and retweeting my tweets? Somebody caresses her forehead. Pink below gradients her cheeks.
What if I get your germs, huh? We can't just go swapping saliva like that, you know.
That's not how that works. I'm gonna get your germs. The only way you get my germs is if you took my coffee and drank it yourself right now. Right here, right now. I am putting the offer out.
I think you have your information mixed up.
This only gives me a tired sigh. Any from embarrassment has been replaced by exhausted certainty.
What are you talking about? Of course I don't. Everyone knows germs are exchanged between both parties whenever body fluids come into contact.
I think the only germ any of us need to worry about catching is your ego.
Awesome. That's a fact, but also bonk. I wonder if she just feels obligated to know more than everyone else, even when she's wrong. Like being smart is her cross to bear. Even if she's a smart aleck and a know-it-all, I've come to not like, but appreciate Yosemite. Yeah, that works. I appreciate Yosemite. Big preach. So yeah, I appreciate that. So that's the extent. Appreciation. Nothing else.
So, how long do you plan on letting the breeding pair struggle out there before helping?
Ah.
Until they go away, or my shift starts. Whichever comes first.
I got to the window. The yelling continues, blending in with the chirps of morning birds.
Isn't teaching these people how to not mess these things up your, I don't know, job?
I'm too tired. I just woke up, Yosemite. I rope up in 2 packs of sweetener I find buried beneath Yosemite's research. Gives me a dirty look for digging around for crap. I just ignore her and pour them into my coffee.
I signed up to protect and preserve. It's not my job to teach these people. Especially when they care so little about the parks, they couldn't even be bothered to do a little research.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not. But weren't you the one who sent those kids to a fire safety course after that incident a few weeks back?
Well, they're the ones who was actually harming them. They were harming the actual park. No, also, I remember girlfriend. I think it's a different situation.
But I'm not the one teaching that course, am I?
Hey, I'm wrong.
So you're just going to let them keep making mistakes?
Don't make it sound so innocent. It's ignorance, plain and simple. You can't teach people to appreciate the things they have. They either already do or they learn it on their own. If they can't, that person is just defective.
And take a wild guess at which one most people are.
How come you're defending them anyway? What happened to your lectures about the dangers of humanity?
I wiggle my finger like a ghostly specter, then throw back a couple gulps of coffee.
They were never lectures on the dangers of humanity. They were lectures on complacency, real ignorance, particularly in relation to people in power, like rangers. You say you're sick of cleaning up people's messes. Then teach them how to avoid making them to begin with. Or do you not want to protect and preserve?
A smirk creeps from the corner of her mouth, smug and irritated. But her eyes are narrowed, stern, and genuine. God, I hate it when she has a point!
No one should be allowed to be as smarmy as you know that?
Yet here I am.
Yeah, but can you disappear?
Ooh.
You're
Ooh.
just upset because I'm onto something.
What you're on is a tangent.
I swipe away the book resting beneath her arms, mostly because I know that if I don't have the verbal thrashing, I can't. I think we need a comma somewhere in there. Mostly because I know that if I don't, the verbal thrashings are going to wear down any argument I have, and my ego just can't handle them today.
And what is it even that you're educating yourself with?
I read the title of the sleek paperback cover. For you, Possum. The title of the sleek paperback cover. Dog ears bending from the corners and sides for multiple reads, though. It feels like the paper might fall out if I give it a good shake.
The Human Mind, God and Architect by Dr. Angela Merrick.
Huh. Intriguing.
Sounds like some new age trash to me.
Mm-hmm.
Give that back! It's valuable research!
For what? She wrenches it from my hands before I even get the chance to comply. Then caters it close to her chest. I raise a very doubtful eyebrow.
Dr. Merrick was a road paver who time just hasn't caught up with yet.
If my eyebrow had muscles, they'd be getting an intense workout.
She argued that the human consciousness, or rather, the collective consciousness of mankind, was powerful enough to create
says like common knowledge. And I mean, maybe it is. Crazy people.
Create what?
Anything! Things, places, maybe even entire worlds. All without ever even knowing it. All that energy needs to go somewhere, right?
Uh-huh. And what evidence is all this based off?
Her own eyewitness accounts and analysis. Even though she was blind.
Honey? Sweetie. Please.
Oh, honey.
Eve, stop being me.
What?
You got suckered.
Ooh.
I did
You
not!
got suckered.
So hard.
Shut up.
Sure. You've already said more than enough. It all sounds like,
Hogwash?
Yeah!
see, she's got it.
Hey, hogwash.
Yellowstone, be quiet. I'm trying to open Eve's puny mind.
I breathe in, ready to take another stab at her. Sharp one. When Yellowstone gets the first word in before me. Hello.
Well, actually, I was wondering if I could start rinsing off dishes.
She twiddles her fingers together, shifting her eyes to the ground away from Yosemite's hawkish stare. I think she might actually be scared of her.
About time. All right, take them two at a time. I don't want to see any of them break. Like someone's scope of thought.
Why are you so interested in what a quack has to say anyway?
2 by 2, Yellowstone takes the mugs by the handles, resting them in a bed of bubbly water, flooding the sink.
Because that quack gave me a theory.
What kind of theory? Like, involving your research?
I lean in closer, my voice dropping to a hushed whisper. Even though there's no secret to be kept, even though I really couldn't care much less than I do already, and that's not much at all. It's just a small amount, really.
About where you three might have come from?
Something to that effect. Let's consider, just for a moment, that if enough people feel strongly about something, then they really do create some kind of, I don't know, physical embodiment of it?
Doubtful, but I'll suspend my disbelief.
So wouldn't it stand to some kind of reason that since strong feelings, and as a result, cultural perceptions, shift with time, the physical results of it would change too?
I'm hearing you, I'm hearing.
What are you getting at?
Hers is flushed again. I wonder if this is her first time saying all this out loud. She does hear how ridiculous it all sounds.
What if those physical results are us?
My spine tingles in realization that these girls are something different. Re-emerging first time in days. No, Possum, it's not what they mean. I'm practically with them all the time now. So I've gotten used to it, but the idea that they're not flesh and blood like me, but flesh, blood, stone, feathers, and volcanic rock, it makes this truce we have seem utterly ridiculous. I'm playing a house with 3 fairies? Sprites? Ghosts? Apologies, ma'am. I wasn't aware I was against the protocol to house fairy tale creatures in our posts. But don't they look But don't they damn look like real girls, though? Alright, let me say that again. Apologies, ma'am. I wasn't aware it was against protocol to house fairy tale creatures in our posts. But don't they damn look real like real girls, you know?
So, what? You think Zion here is gonna go through park puberty in a couple of years? Maybe sprout up by 2 feet?
Zion blinks, glancing back and forth, then points to herself as if to affirm. Yes, we are talking about the same Zion. Then she scoots back in her chair, eyes wide and distant. Her just plucked at a nerve. When her ears flatten, I can tell the conversation has hit a wall.
Puberty would be more forgiving.
Yellowstone comes back around for the last mug.
Done with your coffee? It's cool if you aren't, but if you are, then can I nab it? I mean, as long as I'm not rushing you to choke it down, but if it's cool beans, then...
Go ahead. It's cold now, but you can drink whatever's left in the cup.
Yellowstone bounces nervously, the kind of shaking I get when I go on a day without coffee. It's like her personality has been flipped on its head. Still has balanced energy, but now it's all neurotic and buzzed up. I hand the cup off to Yellowstone. She brings the mug to her lips, tilting it back.
Stop drinking out of the same cup!
I forgot about that. Somebody dives across the table. She slams down in front of me. Her hand stops just short of the mug. Yellowstone jumps, stirred by the crack of Yosemite's flopping on the table. The mug falls and shatters. Pup's ears rise to attention. There's a quick sliver of silence. Stare at the broken pieces of ceramic.
Go get the dustpan, Yellowstone.
All of our attention is turned to Yellowstone. Her eyes drawn down. Puffs of smoke blot out the air above, rising from her head. Back. Her fists clenched together. Hear them crack. Her arms tense. They shake.
I'll get it later.
If whisper. High enough for me to be unsure if I ever heard it right. Yellowstone zaps out of sight. A gust of wind twirls around us, tossing papers on the table. Then there's just static crackles over the radio. And the chirp of Jesse's voice is bright enough for me to want to draw the curtain out on it.
Wakey, wakey! Eggs and potential disciplinary action, Eve!
Her timing is impeccable as always, Jessica. Leon looks up to Yosemite, concern swimming in her eyes.
What's wrong with Yellowstone? She's not acting like herself.
She's fine. Don't be pulled in by the theatrics. She's just being a brat.
You're being a bitch. And then you go back to reading, occasionally grumbling. Leon looks to me. The best I can offer is a shrug.
Don't ask me what's normal around here.
I sit up in stride over to the radio, picking up the middle of one of Jesse's threats masked by good cheer.
This pretty light up pen on my desk is ready to write you up if you don't answer by the count of 5. 1 Mississippi.
This is Ranger Adams, and you can't fire me. I already have a letter of resignation. Over.
Oof.
My shredder is more than ready for it.
Hey.
What do you want, Jesse? I'm trying to enjoy the peace before throwing myself at the mercy of the general public.
I just thought you might want to hear from your favorite supervisor.
My only supervisor?
Funny, you had the same thought yesterday, and the day before that.
Just making sure you aren't boarded up in that cabin, hiding your pretty face from the rest of the world.
It is very pretty. I agree. Guys, the next bit under a cough.
And to let you know you're on trash duty today.
Like hell! I'm on patrol this week, not sweeping up cigarette butts.
Don't be such a diva. You're just taking the trash out of bins that are already filled up. Hardly community service.
What happened to the usual guy? Simmons or something?
Dead mother-in-law, he says. 5th one this year by my count.
Sir, either your mother-in-law is a lesbian, or you're getting way too many divorces in a year.
Tragic.
With a sigh, her sounds like wind coming through the speaker.
Every trash can in the meadows, I'm guessing. There has to be an easier way to do this. Don't the Grand Teton guys have a sensor in all their cans? Something that pops up on their tablets when everything's full.
I hear it rains manna in Grand Teton too. But that doesn't stop our year-round fire season down here, and that eats up most of the budget. Sorry, sweetie, but you'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. Elbow grease and all.
It's not elbow grease I'm gonna be covered in once I'm finished.
But you will be filled with pride in a job well done. Just remember to lather and rinse with cold water.
Thank you. At least the calm button, making sure my groan doesn't travel through the radio waves and give her another reason to scold me. But her voice drops to pitiable sympathy, almost as if she could hear me somehow.
Do this for me and I'll bring some new snacks the next time we catch up. I have teriyaki jerky! Your favorite!
Turkey jerky sounds nice. Her voice glides along like a melody. Like, bribery is a surefire way to my heart. I mean, yeah, it is, but she could at least be less obvious about it. You're not wrong.
Make it 2 bags and it's a 10-4.
You're not wrong, Ruby. You're not wrong. But there's a sink. There's at least a sink. So you can at least wash your hands properly with lather and rinse with cold water. And yeah. yeah, the problem is one in the campsite. Or something. When in doubt, nice river exists, right? There we go.
You've got yourself a deal, Ranger. Have fun! Over and out.
Yep.
Yup. I set the mic aside, not bothering to put it back on its hook. With a sigh, I grab my travel mug and pour the rest of the coffee from the percolator.
Well, girls, duty calls.
Cleanup duty, from what I heard.
Yeah.
If you find a way to spin this to prove another point, I'm quitting.
Oh no, I'll leave it as is. Just finding some worldly irony in it is all.
I know just the place where you can shove your worldly irony.
I snap my hat off the rack and open the door. The bright morning, letting some of the chill in. Dan calls out as I step onto the porch.
But what about Yellowstone? We can't just ignore her.
Looks to me, then Yosemite, anxious for words of comfort.
Good point. Eve, if you see Yellowstone, make sure to remind her to do laundry.
Yosemite! The fuck? Mood. I got to struggle to lift what must be the 100th bag of garbage from its bear-proof receptacle. My arms lost all feeling roughly 50 bags ago. Picking the bag up into the bed of the pickup truck I've been giving, I spot the split near the seam.
Oh, no.
I shove the bag upward, just as it starts to tear, managing to avoid most, but not all the trash juice. Oh. Some of it splashes onto my gloves, staining them. pungent goop. God knows what's in it. Cigarette butts, drinks. What? For other chemical people feel the need to imbibe themselves with coffee. You know exactly how you're poisoning yourself. Once the bag crosses the threshold onto the bed of the truck, though, it reaches the fabled "not my problem." Though I'm sure Simmons will eventually be tasked with throwing it all out. Whatever they pay that man isn't enough. What did they pay me isn't enough. I pop up one of the empty industrial-sized bags and place the one I just removed before fitting the lid back on top. Only another 1,000,000 trash cans to go. I climb back into the cab, and head off down the road. The truck is older than I am, with a busted radio and a tape deck that might work. Wouldn't know, because I don't think anyone who still uses cassettes. Didn't we all decide to switch to CDs a couple years ago? The occasional car passes by, more of them going in the opposite direction to me. Good! That's one less person to deal with. Empty the next trash can and then keep going. One goes better, and I manage not to spill anything on myself. At this rate, I'll probably be done by lunchtime. I haven't been driving for 2 minutes before I spot a glimmer of green plastic nudged against that bush. Sighing, I pull over.
Couldn't wait until the trash can, huh? Just had to ditch it right now.
Honestly, it's not even emptying the trash that bugs me. It's the inherent laziness that people seem to have built into it. Sure, they might feel a tinge of guilt, but they'll never think about that piece of trash again. They'll never think about how many years it will take for the plastic to decompose or the bird that will choke on it. No, people will continue to live their lives content to watch their nature documentaries while occasionally crying when a polar bear drowns. That's their good deed for the year. After all, there's nothing they can do about it. They're just one person, right? Yeah, it's laziness, alright. And laziness is harmless until you realize it's just another form of selfishness. Without bothering to put on my gloves, I slammed off the offending bottle into the back of the rest of the brethren before starting my journey. I can only pray that it eventually gets recycled. I'd like to see Yosemite's justification for something like this. My job to teach people why they shouldn't litter, because I'm not a third-grade science teacher. It's apathy, plain and simple. You just can't educate apathy away. Every now and then there's that occasional camper who means well and just needs to push in the right direction. But for every one of those campers, there's 10 more waiting in line for that nature documentary. Ironically enough, Yosemite misses the forest for the trees. Does she know just how many people lose their footing and fall off cliffs in these parks? If they can't even take care of themselves, then how could anyone expect to take care of the land? Just ahead, I see an aluminum can lying lonesome in some underbrush. Pull over and take it out. Shocker! It's an empty can of beer! The coloring is faded. Done eating. Been here for a while,
Not even a good brand.
By noon, it's just about done. There's still a handful of trash cans left to deal with. Then I'm free. My arms are sore from all the hauling and lifting I've done, and I garbage for a week. If nothing else, at least it's quiet. I lean back and stretch, soaking in the sun as it warms my face. Something rustles in the bush behind me. Before I can turn around, my vision goes black and someone covers my face with their hands.
Guess who?
At least there isn't any time to be concerned.
Yellowstone.
Oh, shucks. Was it that obvious?
You're lucky you have a distinctive voice, or else you'd be unconscious right now.
The big breeze rushes around us, even though the jig is up. It doesn't take her hand away.
You're such a grump, Eve. Don't you ever lighten up a little?
A bit.
Firstly, no. Secondly, I'm pretty sure someone coming up out of nowhere and latching onto my face is a good reason to be annoyed.
But we're friends.
Could have been a stranger. To emphasize, she squeezes me a little tighter. At the same time, the breeziness intensifies like she's holding me in a windy tunnel. An electrical hum buzzes around us, the truck maybe, or nearby power line.
Don't push it. Are you going to let go or not?
Oh, right. Ta-da!
She finally lifts her hands and I turn around to face her.
Seriously, though, don't do that again. I meant it when I said that if I hadn't heard it was you, I would have knocked you out. Wouldn't be the first time. And beside that,
I stop short, staring past Yellowstone's unrepentant-looking face, only to realize something. I have no idea where we are. The truck is gone. The trees and bushes have been replaced by different trees and bushes.
beside that, where the hell are we?
We're home.
I have a job to do. I appreciate you bringing me to Yellowstone, which is yourself, but also I have a job to do, Yellowstone. Please. Her arms wide as she can, letting the grand view of whatever she dragged me to. I glance at her, waiting for her to just come out and say it.
Well, I guess it's only home for me.
She clears her throat and steps back. Again, she sprawls her arms up like a soaring eagle and presents me with the view. She's waiting for me to clap.
Welcome back to Yellowstone National Park, the prettiest place on the planet.
Instead of clapping, I cross my arms and gaze around. This must be where she took me the night we first met. Now that I'm not being dangled off a ledge in certain death, I get a bit more time to appreciate the view. We're standing near the base of a tall mountain that I recognized from years' worth of pictures and postcards. Mount Washburn. Vast forests cover huge swaths of land. Lodgepole pines are by far the most common tree. Not only do they grow from the earth, but a fine few sprout out from the rocks themselves. Velvety green grass blankets the lesser hills and slopes nearby.
You're right about it being pretty, at least.
Ain't it? The whole park is swell, but this trail is the bee's knees.
Where can you bring me out to the truck so I can finish my job? She puts her hands on her hips and surveys the land like a proud mom. Maybe this isn't inaccurate if Yosemite is a little fire fever is anything to go by. I guess Yellowstone has a similar connection to her park too.
When I was out earlier, I kept thinking about how I wanted to swing by and visit for a bit. And not too long, of course, because I know Yosemite won't ever pipe down if I don't finish her laundry, but...
Yellowstone trails off, a frown-breaking, cheerful sod. Two hummingbird buzz around a thin brush, their long beaks against each other, as if kissing. Before flying off into the trees, small wiggles its way back onto her face.
But I figured a little break can't hurt. Usually I go hiking with Zion, but since we're bunk buddies now, I figured, what the hey, and decided to bring you along instead.
Lucky me. So, where have you been all day, then?
Oh, you know, a little here, a little there. I needed some fresh air after everything this morning.
Yeah, I think I still have shards of coffee mugs stuck in my boots.
Sorry about that. I'm just so... I'm at my wit's end, Eve. I've always been the one to do the cooking and the cleaning and the laundrying and everything. I alphabetize Yosemite's books and make sure they end up back on the shelf. Even before you moved in, I was the one keeping the cabin spick and span, making sure Yosemite had a comfy reading space, taking care of Zion's hair. I also...
I get it. You do everything around the place.
I do, absolutely, positively, but all I ever hear is laundry this and tea time that.
Yellowstone puffs out her cheeks and looks stern in what I think is supposed to be her best Yosemite impression.
Yellowstone, why haven't you done the 10 things I already asked you to do? I've got 5 more that need to be done right now.
I cover my eyes and try to keep myself from chuckling. Couldn't have done it better myself, kid.
So fight back. Tell Yosemite to shove it or something. Tell her you don't want to do all her chores anymore. That'd be more productive than just throwing a tantrum about it.
It's not that I don't want to do it. I like being useful and all. It's just that a little bit more gratitude would be nice, you know?
I understand. I get
I'm
that, I
working
get that.
my tush off for her, but it's crystal clear that she doesn't care about that. In fact...
Cuts over her shoulder and leans in and cups her hand over her mouth, as if somebody might plummet down from the heavens and catch her in the act.
I'm starting to think that maybe she even has it out for me.
That girl has it out for everybody.
But this is different. She was downright mean this morning. It's been like that more and more lately.
Well, if you aren't going to stand up for yourself, then you're pretty much just asking for it.
Why can't you cut me some slack? I was kinda hoping for some compassion here.
Sorry to burst your bubble, but if you're not going to make a change, then all you're doing is blowing off the job people rely on you to do.
That's the thing, though. I'm starting
I took the faintest hint of a voice crack.
to wonder if it's even worth it. Yosemite is a real pretty place, and I love living with the other gals. I'll always have Yellowstone the park, but taking care of the cabin makes Yellowstone the me really happy. A place to belong, you know? But if no one at that place appreciates you, then it makes you wonder if you really do belong there.
Smoke or steam, I'm not sure which, rises from the crater overhead. She sighs and gazes past me at the empty wild wilderness. But even emptier than that, look in her eyes. I wonder how many mornings I've dragged myself to the mirror only to see that exact exhausted stare reflecting back at me.
Look, kid, I get you. I really do. About wondering if it's worth it and all. But I have to know, why me? You said you usually bring Zion along, right? Why not just ask her instead?
Yeltsin gives a sad smile, but nonetheless tries to force the cheer out of herself, turning her voice until she sounds only slightly miffed.
I already told you that, silly. I thought you could use a break too. It'll be great. We can tell stories, swap gossip, talk about boys. You know, girl stuff.
But what if we're talking about girls?
I'm not into a single one of those things.
Hey!
Well, feel free to start walking back to Yosemite if you want. It's a bit under 1,000 miles by foot, so you better get a move on.
You better get a move on, honey. This little brat, I swear I'm gonna... before I can bring myself to roaring her neck. I get an idea. So instead, I turn around and simply start walking.
Cool. I'll take my chances.
Wait! Hold on a sec!
I freeze and try to hide my grin. No wonder somebody has an ego. Being the smartest person in the room must be addicting.
The truth is... I brought you along because I felt like I could trust you. There, I said it.
Genuine shock wipes the smirk off my face. Maybe I'm not as smart as I thought.
Huh? But why?
It's silly, but...
Her eyes shift to the ground. She bashfully kicks the dirt around her.
When you complimented my flapjacks the other day, it made me really happy. Like, golly, someone finally appreciates something I'm doing. And then when you took charge and put out that fire, it just... I don't know, it made me like you even more. It's like you really know what you're doing.
I don't, but I appreciate the sentiment nonetheless. How the damn what I'm doing at all?
Probably just being stupid, huh?
You're always stupid. Neither of us say anything, in fact. I'm almost tempted to keep it that way. Have her take me back. But there's something about this sad volcano girl that I just can't turn away. How many times over the years have I been at my breaking point? Just
Allow
one
me to
little
be
step
the
from
first
going
to
off
say.
the deep end.
Hiya, Papaya.
Hiya, Papaya, back at ya.
Breaking point is just one step from going off the deep end. How many times have I been blown off and told to suck it up when all I wanted was to vent? And where has that gotten me? Finally, take a long, defeated sigh. Yellowstone better thank her lucky stars that her pancakes are good.
Tell you what, kid. You promise, and I mean promise, to take me home in time to finish up with the rest of the trash in the park. And I'll hike around with you for a few hours.
Yellowstone perks up, and for the first time I notice how her volcano cuts through the air and makes steady movements.
You mean it? Cross your heart and hope to die?
I don't want to die. Not out here. She flings herself at me, stopping just shy of our noses touching. I can feel the heat emanating from her head in waves.
Stick 1,000 needles in your eye?
Yes! Now, get out of my face before I plug your volcano with a rock!
She skips forward, backpack bouncing cheerfully at her shoulders. Even if she had just spent 10 minutes talking my ear off about it, it would be easy to see just how much she's been looking forward to this.
Oh, you won't regret this, Evo! Me and you are gonna have a blast! We're gonna hike and do more hiking, and then after we take it easy for a bit, we can hike even more!
Oh my god, you're a bean. We love beans in this household. We love good beans in this household.
Not so fast, Mountaineer.
Hmm? Yank on her backpack and reel her back in.
What about that thing on your head? We'll have a lot of explaining to do if someone sees you.
No sweat!
With a flourish, she slides her backpack off and rifles through it for just a second. Then she stands back up, triumphant.
Ta-da!
Never got rid of it. It's been a toggle for since karaoke stream. It's been there for ages. It's been there for like a week, or it's there for like 2 weeks before the karaoke stream, for the birthday stream. I've been so careful to press the keybind for that. Every time, I like, don't press the fucking keybind. Don't be an idiot. Don't press that keybind by pure accident. It's a soft hat. She stretches it taut over her volcano, covering it perfectly. Now it looks like she has a really big head.
I guess that's an improvement.
Groovy! Now let's beat feet!
Topical. I can only assume she means let's-tickle. So I motion my hand forward and let her lead. She skips ahead and starts on the trail, humming to herself and rolling to the music in her head.
Just promise you'll take me home early, please. I'm about overdue for an earful from Jessie, and I don't want to risk it now.
You're such a worrywart, dollface. Just hang back and smell the roses for a bit.
As she skips forward and ahead to the trail, I see her hand inch below her backpack, almost hidden maybe it's my imagination, but for a brief second it looks like her fingers are crossed. Yellowstone, please. I have a job to do. I don't want to get more trouble than I already am. I have trash cans to clean. I started accidentally loosening the pop filter on my mic stand. That's not what I want to happen.
This'll be a walk in the park.
The national park. The national park of Yellowstone. Why did I click tits by accident? The pace Yellowstone sets is excruciatingly slow. Sometimes it feels like we're not even moving at all. I sometimes have to march ahead, taking a steady stride just so I can keep myself warm among the dusting of snow that decorates our surroundings. It forms mushy mud puddles in parts of the trail, but in others the path is so well trodden that the snow is gone entirely. Sometimes Yellowstone will dart off the road to inspect a soggy plant or peculiar rock along the way. She'll kneel down, humming to herself, gently touching the object of her curiosity. A scientist. During these moments, I force myself to stop and admire the flora and fauna with her. I'll be damned, it's been a hot minute or two since I've been within spitting distance of Yellowstone. Might as well enjoy some of it, regardless of the circumstances.
Say, Eve?
Can't I move along with the ice-crusted brush I was looking at, continued on the trail. Like my shadow, Yellowstone falls in lockstep behind me.
I was wondering, what made you want to become a ranger?
Easy. I like nature, and I like the parks. Wanted a job that would let me be around both. Had my mind set on it since I was a kid.
Oh, that's nice. Well, after that awkward veterinarian phrase, but let's not talk about that.
Then why are you so grouchy about having to do it?
I like nature. I don't like protecting. I don't like people trashing the fucking park.
You sure don't beat around the bush, do you?
Well, yeah. Most folks stop listening if I ramble too long. Cut to the chase is what Yosemite always says.
At least it's one good piece of advice that Bookworm has.
It's not that I'm grouchy about having to do my job. I just don't like having to deal with people or their messes.
That's a mood.
So, you don't like talking to people then?
Yeah.
Bingo.
No offense. You guys are fine. Love y'all. No 3 pog.
Hmm.
No offense, Yellowstone. Eve gets quiet. She gets quiet, and she drifts apart a bit. My pace stays the same, but Yellowstone starts to lag behind. Not stopping, but not keeping up. I can hear her plop along behind me. Then her footsteps quicken to catch back up.
Are there any rangers that do have to talk more?
Plenty.
I start to pick up the pace a little. Yellowstone lags behind me again, but soon enough, she's right back by my side again.
What do they do?
Nothing but talk. Kind of like you.
Mine immediately shifts to Jessie. I'm pretty sure the first thing that woman does when she wakes up is talk. Probably the last thing she does before sleeping too. If she's not working, then she's almost certainly chatting.
And what do you do?
Answer your questions?
Yellowstone giggles as if I told a funny joke. Unfortunately for her, I am not laughing.
I mean, what do you really do, silly? You're always buzzing around like a worker bee, but it seems like you're doing something new every day.
It's not enough to kidnap me, she has to torture me too. I look back at her, even though I'm brushing her off. Smile is radiant and genuine as she waits for me to respond. Okay, maybe torture is a bit too strong of a word. At the very least, she's not nagging. She's not a naggy busybody like some other parks.
If you have to know, I'm basically law enforcement. If someone screws up, I'm who they call to take care of it.
So you're like a forest cop.
Forest ranger.
Not too far off, actually. Got training just like any other cop. Only difference is I did it on the federal level.
I feel a spring in my step as my long dormant pride briefly swells up inside me.
So how come you gotta take out the trash?
Ugh. And it's gone again.
Because at the end of the day, I'm a glorified janitor. Also, it's the park service. No one just does one thing.
But the other rangers do different things?
Sure. Some of us are tour guides that show visitors around the park. Other folks go do outreach programs at school. That kind of thing.
You don't do any of that, though.
No.
Says who? I've given more than my fair share of lectures to bored middle schoolers, thanks.
Little gremlins usually pile onto Yosemite on the field trips. It was exciting the first couple of times. I thought I might have a chance to really connect with these kids. But after a while, it became more and more obvious that none of them had an interest in the outdoors, video games, celebrities. I ended up working out since I lost my interest in them too.
Though at this point, I don't think they want me talking to anybody.
Aw, that's not true. You're doing just swell talking to me.
You must be pretty desperate for conversation if you think so.
Believe me, I am.
She did it with a cheerful, boldly unironic grin. So she quiets down again and carry on. When I'm not being distracted with chatter, you enjoy the experience. It's like Yosemite, the park isn't too crowded, with the snow and cold keeping away all but the most determined sightseer. The visitation rate spike next month when it starts getting warmer. But for now, there isn't too much people around to ruin it. We do get passed by the occasional backpacker or hiker, usually going on in the other direction. That fail, Yellowstone grins them and greets them with a chipper "Hi!" or a wave. I do my best to avoid eye contact to ignore them. A light breeze carries some old snow with it, enough to make me shiver and wrap my arms around myself. It's only going to get colder the higher we go. Rather than strike up another conversation, instead, Yellowstone starts to whistle. His dad goes through a number of folk songs as well as several melodies I don't recognize. And when he settles on, I've been working on the railroad, repeating its distinctive refrain over and over until I'm sure that even the birds will daze. After we've been walking for 30 minutes or so, I notice a familiar sight up ahead. At the edge of the trail, I rear off in its direction, with Yellowstone watching curiously.
What'd you find?
I kneel down and pick up the item in question, holding it so she can see my prize. It's a paper wrapped with a $1 menu burger. Someone must have been carrying this one around for a while, since we're pretty deep in the park.
Garbage. Left behind by walking garbage. I'll throw it away at the next trash can.
I'm glad that I kept my gloves on before Yellowstone abducted me. Then let me ignore the congealed cheese that hangs loose from the trash.
Gross. You're the bee's knees for cleaning up the place, though.
Thanks.
Her never-ending use of outdated slang is something I've gotten used to. Tuning out. I at least know what bee's knees means. Not too much later, I spot an abandoned park map fluttering uselessly in the breeze. Want to snatch it out of the air. It's speckled with mud. The date on the attached seat is from several days ago. I crumple it into a ball and carry it along with the hamburger wrapper.
More trash?
Of course. It's all over the place if you look for it.
After spotting the first piece, I can't help but look for it. With every step we take, my eyes scan the trail for even more. For long, my hands are both full. We finally reach a trash can where I can offload everything. I sigh with relief. I'm going to need to take the longest shower of my life once I'm... With a whoop and a cheer, Yellowstone dashes over the low wood railing, turns this spot into a small observation point.
Take a gander at that, Eve. Ain't it grand?
It is.
I can't help but be impressed by the sprawling forest that dominates the horizon. No matter what direction I turn, the view could be a postcard.
You know, we can go anywhere in the park whenever you want. Just say the word.
Anywhere?
Yep, top of the mountain, bottom of the mountain, the entrance, the exit, even in the middle of nowhere. That's because it's me. It's the same for Zion and Yosemite, too. The girls, I mean.
But only around the park?
That's right!
You can't get me back to the truck, can you? A worrying thought crosses my mind.
And you can take us back home, right? You aren't just trying to pull a fast one on me, are you?
Of course! That's how we got back last time.
Last time? Are you telling me that I was dangling off a cliff in Yellowstone National Park?
Ah, come on. You didn't die.
That doesn't make me feel any better.
Yellowstone giggles. I'm glad she finds my near-death experience entertaining. Maybe she can finish the job next
I'll
time.
let you in on a little secret.
Oh, goody.
You know that painting back in the cabin? The gorgeous one with the view from the top of Mount Washburn?
Mm-hmm.
They're all gorgeous, but sure.
Well, that's like home base. As long as it's in the cabin, I can go right back there. Although, if you moved the painting, I'd have to go there instead.
So you can't take me to the truck.
Sounds like there's a lot of arbitrary rules.
Right? It makes my head spin. But it's like Yosemite always says, linear thinking.
Get you anywhere, I know. She's given me the lecture.
Sounds like her, all right. She always yaks about the same thing over and over.
She does it because she thinks it'll make her sound smart. Now, let's keep going.
The view is gorgeous. There's no denying that. If I could, I'd stay here for a week exploring and poking around. But I have to get home. I never hear the end of it from Jessie if she found my skirking in my duties.
Roger that!
Start back up the trail. The next stretch of the trail is devoid of litter. Fortunately, it must be close to the proximity of the bin. The moment of relief is short-lived, though. There's still plenty of reminders of how careless park visitors are. The initial scratches on. I stop and glare at the off-bending carving.
Nobody knows or cares who you were, PT.
I'm probably the only person in the world who will give a second thought to the marking. And I'm sure it's not for the reason they intended. Yellowstone peers around my shoulder to see what I'm looking at.
You sure don't miss a thing.
Can't help it. As much as I'd like to sometimes.
I'm doomed to notice each and every blemish and imperfection, just like Yosemite, with problems and stories. I'm sure Yellowstone, the park, has its fair share of stories too. Except, like the initial was carved into a tree, nobody cares what they have to say.
Why do you think people are like that?
Turn back around to face Yellowstone. Puts his back, bounces from one foot to another, unable to sit still even when not walking.
You really are full of questions today.
Oh, not just today. Pretty much every day. Except usually Yosemite just stops answering.
Sounds like her. Anyway, as to why they're like this, I guess it's because they're selfish. They don't think about what they're doing or what it costs nature. They just want something, so they take it. They're like...
I look out into the distance, struggling to find the right comparison. And then the answer dances its way into my memory.
They're like a wildfire. They just come in and destroy everything. Doesn't matter if they burn the entire place down. All that matters is that they get their kicks. And then they just spread, consuming and destroying.
Like wildfire.
Yellowstone looks mystified by the comparison. Her eyes glazing over and then widening.
I don't think that's fair, though, you know? They're people with thoughts and feelers. Wildfire can't do that.
I guess. That's beside the point, though. It was just a comparison. Besides, doesn't it bother you? Seems like this should get on your nerves just as much as mine. After all, you live here. Or are here, or something.
Well, I don't like it, you're right. But it comes with the territory. I'd rather deal with it than have nobody come see me.
Fair, guess.
See the park, I mean.
Even though they don't respect you? Or the park?
Not everything's about respect, Eve. Sometimes you just gotta have fun.
With cabin duty. To emphasize, she flashes a peace sign at me. The epitome of fun.
I don't think every person who leaves behind some trash is a bad person. They're just people who made a teensy tiny mistake. If you help them out, maybe they won't make that mistake again next time. Little bit of talking and working together, and who knows? You might end up being great pals and doing great things together. Just imagine if you hadn't compromised with Yosemite back at the cabin. We'd have never gotten to know each other like this.
Yeah, and I'd be safe and sound back at home doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Exactly, and that's no fun.
Isn't it with a smug tone of voice? She's just proved some great point rather than missing it entirely. Roll my eyes. I don't know if Yellowstone's being willfully ignorant or what. It really baffles me that she's not bothered by the way the park was treated. Somebody threw a tantrum and ran away because she felt like she was appreciated. Definitely eager to forgive the good people and assume they just have the best intentions. Can't just let this go. Thank me for it later.
You're still being naive. When it comes to nature, people will just keep making compromise after compromise until there's nothing left. Rainforests, ice caps, endangered species, all these things are being wiped out because of compromises. Either you make people understand the truth, or you give up on them. Because most aren't worth the time or effort. They're never going to learn or care. And that's 90% of the people that you see out here.
What about the other 10%, though?
What about them?
If you can help even that 10%, doesn't that make it worth it? Sometimes they just need someone to teach them the right thing to do.
Not her too.
I'll bet you most of those 10% would be happy to have someone show them the ropes so they can do better next time. As long as there's someone to do it.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm immediately done with this conversation. I just give her a flat answer so that we can move on. I really don't need to hear the same lecture twice a day. It's obvious that Yosemite's drilled the same nonsense into Yellowstone's head that she tried to pass on to me. Instead, I try to just focus on the hike again. Push the distractions out of my head, keep my attention focused on the top of Mount Washburn, instead of the imperfections that we passed by. It doesn't work very well. But I refrain from mentioning it or making it more. If Yellowstone doesn't care, then I'll just let it be someone else's problem. Someone else's story. In the garbage and the vandalism and the lecture. Pretty much any enjoyment I was going to get out of this trip has evaporated. It seems like every day of my life I'm doomed to hear the same meandering criticism about how it's my fault that idiots are idiots. For credit, Yellowstone stays quiet for now. But I'm sure it's just a temporary respite. Moving right, we round another bend in the path. Thank you, possum. Up ahead, a group of hikers are heading towards us. They've all got huge backpacks and gear. Looks like they're backcountry hikers. Probably doing some dispersed camping. As they get closer, they wave at us and I'll say hello. Match a stiff nod, but keep waving. Yellowstone, on the other hand,
Hi there, everyone. How y'all doing today?
is totally distracted.
Well, hey there. We're doing just great. Yep, how about you?
Just came down the mountain. Had a drink and a snack. Oh, you two are in for a treat once you get up there.
Why? I wonder if we'll see the evidence of their drinking and snack left behind.
Oh, the view is so good, isn't it? I could just live up here.
Yep, same. It was gorgeous.
I keep walking in the hopes that Yellowstone will get the hint and catch up, but I'm not that lucky. She might not even notice that I'm leaving her behind. I try to drag my feet and haul myself over next to her.
So you three are pretty geared up. Those bags look pretty spiffy. Staying overnight.
We are, yep. Just gotta find a spot.
We're doing the backwoods thing.
The backwoods thing!
Back country.
Back country!
Whoa, that sounds like so much fun. Maybe my friend and I should give that a try sometime.
Not now, I have a job to do.
Absolutely not.
Unless I'm a park ranger. Part of them laugh, like they think I'm joking.
Oh, guess we should introduce ourselves. I'm Russ, yep.
Jakey, that's Clara, and that's Croc.
Rock! The other two both wave as they're introduced. No way out of this, I guess.
I'm Eve. And this,
Yellowstone looks at me with eager eyes, probably hoping for a cool alias.
is Yellow. Yeah, her name is Yellow.
Just instant disappointment. But with someone called Croc, it's not like she's got the strangest name here.
So, how are you guys liking the park so far?
Great so far. We've been here for 2 days, and we've got another 2 days to go. It's good. Never visited before.
Oh,
It's the cat's meow! What other stuff have you seen?
Well, we started at Hayden Valley, then came up this way.
We passed by Grand Canyon too, yep.
ooh. You say yup a lot, Russ.
Croc didn't realize it's not the Grand Canyon.
It's a Grand Canyon, not the Grand Canyon. It'd be weird if it was the Grand Canyon. See the Grand Canyon. I think Zion should be there right now, don't you think? Snow Possum? I think Zion should be there. At the Grand Canyon. I don't know why she's there, though.
Easy mistake. She's real nice, too. What kind of gear have you got? Looks like a real heavy load. Aren't your backs just about to give out from lugging all that around?
Honestly, yes. I just want to fall over and sleep forever.
Have to find a campsite first. We've got all the essentials with us, though. Tent, blankets, food, stove, flashlights.
Roughing it as much as we can.
Yep. Wait, did that guy say they don't have a website yet?
Wow, you can fit all that in there?
Sure can. Bit of a pain to take with us, like you said, but it gets the job done.
I hope you guys can take a break soon.
Ha! Me too!
We're actually looking for a spot right now. Trying to find something close by.
Ha! Me too.
We're actually looking for a spot right now. Trying to find something close by.
I was trying to figure out who that sounded like. I was trying to figure out who that was.
Going back up the mountain in the morning, yup.
Oh, I wonder if I know of anywhere good close by.
Taps a finger on her lips and she pivots around, scanning the area.
You know this place pretty well then.
Like the back of my hand.
It'd be good to find somewhere with a bit of cover from the wind. In case the tent crashes again.
Wait, crashes?
All 5 of them, including Yellowstone. Those are my words, like they forgot I was there. Maybe they did. 10 eyes trying to look at me. Crap. Why does it speak up?
Yeah, during the middle of the night it just sorta caved in.
Right on our heads, yep.
Sounds like you didn't support the tent properly. I notice him eyeing my badge warily. I wonder if he's been doing this the whole time. Hope he doesn't connect the dots and figure out I don't actually work in this park.
Sounds like you must have staked it out wrong.
I told you.
Ah, get fucked. He hits one of the others on the arm. It makes a sound because it's a light jacket.
Yeah, the videos made it look a lot easier.
At least he has the good sense to look embarrassed.
It's kind of been one thing after the other, to be honest. First, we got lost on our way to the mountain. Then we got the car stuck in the mud for a while.
The ram was on for a good couple minutes, listing off all the things that have gone wrong since they left home. Rotten supplies, mixed up trails, and more. Internally, I'm rolling my eyes the entire time. At a glance, it looks like they were well prepared, but of course, it turns out that they gave them too much credit. Finally, when she mentions how they were considering doing the hike without extra water, I reached my breaking point.
Okay, that's enough.
Clara stops mid-ramble. She gives Yellowstone a run for her money when it comes to chatting.
The 4 of you sound like you're not prepared to be out here at all. You're lucky to have made it this long. It can get well below freezing here at night. You don't know how to pitch a tent. You don't know how to pack. Did you do any research at all before you came into the park?
All 4 of them are stone silent, their eyes wide.
This is the wilderness. There's a lot of empty land out there. Just because it's a park doesn't mean that someone's going to find you right away if you're in trouble. You need to learn some respect for nature, because nature doesn't give a damn about you.
They're all still proud and silent. Even Yellowstone looks a little embarrassed. I might have been a little harsh, but better than going too easy on them. One of the hikers finally nods.
We understand.
Sorry.
Maybe we should just cut the trip a bit short.
Look dejected. Look of dejection spreads from one another like a plague. Jakey starts to sag under the weight of his backpack. It just got a whole lot heavier.
Hey now, that's quitter talk.
Yellowstone leaps in between the group and me, trying to salvage the situation.
Eve's a bit of a grouch, but she's just trying to say that you should be more careful next time. You don't have to give up and go home. You just gotta do better.
Well, she kinda made it sound like we're going to die a horrible death out here.
Well, but wouldn't know if you're prepared, definitely.
Not if we can help it. Right, Eve?
Fine.
What?
But
You folks said you're still looking for a spot to hit the hay, right? What if we help out a little and give you a couple pointers?
Would you really? I mean, that'd be great, but it's a lot to ask.
Absolutely.
positively?
Hey, Yellow, I don't...
My protests fall on deaf ears. I've already been volunteered.
Can you help us with our campfire too?
Yellowstone looks at me expectantly. I sigh again. Doing that a lot since we got here.
Not like I have much of a choice.
It's better than letting them burn the whole place down. The last time I went that with another forest fire.
Hooray!
It's like that I'm dragged to Yellowstone shenanigans.
So then... So then what you're gonna wanna do is slide these suckers in! Aha!
I can't bear to watch. Can't look away either.
And from there, you gotta... Wait, that's not right.
It's embarrassing. Pitiful even.
Just a tip, I think. Okay, I think I cracked the code. All you gotta do is step over here and lift this up and...
Down the tent, hugs up beneath Yellowstone's boot. She face plants on the ground cloth, half the tent yanked along behind her. The thud, and when it's all said and done, she's tangled and doomed within the tent. Volcano burrito.
You alive?
There's no answer. For a moment I think I might have to dive in and save her like a drowning dog, but that distinct cone-shaped wiggles its way through. Yellowstone gasps for air as her head pops from the surface and breaks into breathy laughter.
What a tumble! But at least we know what doesn't work now.
I pinch the bridge of my nose until it feels like it might snap. The campers just look at my side, look on at my side. Clara and Jakey with the genuine sprinklings of concern on their face. Russ and the other guy are staring with amazed wonderment, as if they actually just witnessed the correct way to pitch it. They aren't.
If you're going to offer your help to someone, you should at least know how to actually do that thing.
And I do! Just gotta refresh the old memory and it'll be easy peasy.
She goes her fingers into an okay sign. Somehow I'm not reassured.
It's all good. Once we have this tent and fire all set up, this place is gonna look dope AF.
The other three cringe, wearing various shades of disgust. Something I imagine I'd be doing if I had any idea what it meant. Dope is like cool, right? So what does AF mean? Kind of? Eve is a boomer. Good to know. What it means Yellowstone immediately takes a shine to it, her head perks up, and her gaze out in the distance.
Dope AF.
Oh no.
Dope AF. Dope AF. Dope AF. Dope AF. Dope AF.
She spouts it out over and over, grooving along to the rhythm of her voice. All four of the hackers throw some worried glances as if only they knew this was the least strange part of Yellowstone.
Should I have not said that?
There's no closing this Pandora's box, Liz.
Oh, it's Grok, actually.
It's a reference, you motherfucker. This must be how she picks up all that slang she throws around. No wonder it's all over the place.
Sorry about our friend being so lame. We really appreciate your help, though. It's insane how quickly you were able to get this place all set up.
You corner off the head pat. Oh, great. My head's stuck with me downwards now. Thanks a lot, Connor Rock. You did this to me. I'm stuck. This is a very awkward position. It's all your fault, Connor Rock. You did this to me.
We were pretty much just winging it up until now.
Yeah, I could tell.
They all dodge eye contact with me except for Clara, who shrinks into herself, looking hurt. Okay, that might have been a bit too harsh again. They haven't done anything yet. As far as campers go, they could be a lot worse. I didn't even spot a single can of beer when I was sorting through their food. I might not know what a bear bag is, but they aren't bad kids.
It's fine. Everyone has to start somewhere. Would rather you learn the right way than try to fail at it yourselves.
Clara chuckles. The validation seems to lift her spirits. It's a reminder that it might not hurt to be a little more patient with them.
At least we know how to dig a cat hole, yup.
Yep. Only a little. Just take a moment to scan the area to admire my handiwork. They were ready to call it a day, so I went ahead. So I went ahead for them a nice. So I went ahead for them a nice flat clearing, not too far off the trail. I wanted to find them. Trees surround the makeshift hideout like a nature fort. Poking around the leaves, the ranger lookout site sits perched on a hill like a prison guard. Unknown even Yellowstone, this was intentional on my part. Just a precautionary measure in case any emergencies. Aside from choosing the campsite, I've gone ahead and set up their lawn chairs. It's small detail. I position them so that they're facing the trail. That way, if any of them wakes up in the middle of the night, they can go stargazing without any trees blocking the way. Of course, the only reason this sort of detail was so fresh in my head is because I had so much attention. And like mandatory leave to get your reconnection. Before that, the last time I went solo camping by myself was... I guess it was before I joined the Park Service. It makes you wonder how much of myself I've put into this. If I were to quit tomorrow, how much of me, the actual me, not Ranger and Adams, left? Scared to think about how tied my sense of self is to this job. I whine and moan about it all the time, but if I weren't a ranger, then I have no idea what I would be. Maybe nothing? Hell, would the world even keep existing? No, it wouldn't actually. How many years devoted to dreaming about this job, just as many as devoted to loathing it. But in both cases, I was always devoted.
Okie dokie, enough chit chat. I'm gonna try to set this bad boy up again, and this time it'll be dopey!
Nope, absolutely not. I've stood here and watched you stumble your way through this long enough.
Whoop. Yellowstone springs from the heap of tent, only for me to push her aside and take a knee.
Look, you didn't even put the poles through the grommets.
Not the grommets!
Oh, is that what they are? I just call them hole thingies.
The grommets!
Okay, you're officially banned from pitching this tent.
If anyone should know how to pitch a tent, it would be the spirit of a national park.
Just keep doing what you are now.
But I'm not doing anything! Nothing! Nada!
And you're doing such a good job at it, sweetie.
Quick puffs of smoke wheeze above her as she pouts, straining through the fabric of her hat. It doesn't matter how many hats she wears. If she can control her emotions, then nothing is going to hide things that come out of her head.
Let's see, which one of you do I like the most? Clara.
Uh-huh.
Hey! How could you remember her name?
I ignore iguana. And it's just Clara. Oh, I get it. Nah. I thought Liz was a reference, but no. She's intentionally calling him different reptilian names. Hell yeah.
Get over here and help. I want to make sure at least one of you knows how this is done.
If anyone's gonna remember, it'll be Clara.
My brain just kind of wings it most of the time, too.
Clara gives an excited nod and scrambles over, jumps over me and focuses in. Reminds me of Yosemite, peering over and glancing at my journal when I'm writing.
I'll do my best.
If nothing else, at least she's motivated.
You see how I'm pushing this pole through the sleeve?
I slide the pole in and out of the thin sleeve and so on.
Do the same thing on the other side, after it's in the grommet. From there, we'll lift it up together. Got it?
Sounds like a plan.
She gets to the other side and bends over. Diligently, she begins to slip the pole through the sleeves, matching them at the end with the color-coded tab.
This is exciting! It's been such a long time since I've been camping like this. Like, actual camping.
You have to be a little off guard. Most people these days just go in their tin can motorhomes. Like that couple I stopped. Like that couple. I stopped fiddling with the pole for a few seconds to glance over.
Oh, yeah?
Uh-huh. We lived near a national forest, so my dad would take me camping out there during extra long weekends. 4th of July, Memorial Day, things like that.
I can't help but smirk a little, just as I slide the last sliver of the pole through. Maybe this kid isn't completely helpless.
Rugged outdoorsman, huh?
Oh my god, yes!
Lift.
Reach towards the middle of the tent, hoist it up. Same time, poles act as a frame, in the tent a modest round shape.
He was always doing something out there. I didn't know one man could spend so many hours fishing.
Reminds me of my old man. He and my brothers were the ones who got me into camping. To this day, roughing it and loving it is the family motto. You have the stakes?
That's one heck of a scary motto. Fun, though. Makes me wish I had kept up with all this. And yeah, they're right here.
I have a handful of sticks and the hammer off the ground. The tent is looking shapely now. There's more simple stuff that needs doing, like putting the fly on and staking it in is the last big one.
Well, when you get home, you can tell him about how you outdid him at his own hobby.
Wish I could, but he died a few years back.
Oh. He doesn't even flinch while saying it. Cheerful in nature, sounding as the rest of the conversation. So maybe that's why it turned into a stuttering mess.
Mind if I do this part? I think I remember how to now.
Maybe that's why I nod my head and agree with it. Bends down and she bends back down and starts hammering the stakes into the soft soil. Between the stakes, strapped to the fabric, the end.
The anniversary is coming up, and between that and school being so tough, I guess I just wanted to feel closer to him.
What is someone wait? In that time it takes to snap my fingers, it feels like my entire perspective of this girl is gone. The kaleidoscope changes. Not because her dad is dead. Not entirely, anyway. If anything, I think it's because she even has the rowdy pains in my ass who don't care about anything but themselves. They have family. They have lives. Put those things together and you realize, mother of God, these people have some sort of rationale and perspective. Breath catches in my throat. That scares me.
All done. Hope it's all up to snuff.
Clara drops the hammer on the ground, setting her achievement with a grin. Friends and Yellowstone stand off to the side, oohing and awing as the most impressive of his praise.
Looks pretty spiffy to me. You did a swell job. Don't you think so, Eve?
I shake myself out of it, long enough to see an erected tent that isn't toppling over the hill. No wind.
Yeah. Keep it up, and you'll be a real pro.
I can put on the fly if one of y'all wants to set up the fire. Yep, I can.
Ooh, me!
Yosemite leaps up and down, volunteering herself. Pause. No one even has time to argue because she's sprinting over to the...
I'm gonna go snag the lighter fluid!
Ah! It takes a while for the words to sink in and settle. Who wants to do a chase after?
Hold it! I'm preemptively banning you from building a fire! You're banned! Got it? Banned!
That's a fun little soundbite.
Hold it! I'm preemptively banning you from building a fire! You're banned! Got it? Banned!
Goodbye! Good luck! Good night!
Wait, good night. Yellowstone shouts in the distance. The four hikers turn to campers, wave goodbye at the campfire I built for them. Not Yellowstone. Yellowstone is banned from the fire. Banned, I tell you, banned. Silhouetting their bodies in warm, flickering light.
Don't forget to drink lots of water! And be sure to bundle up!
As Yellowstone continues to speculate, the spectacle of her. Thank you, Melanie. This is for you. As Yellowstone continues the spectacle of her farewell, I stand at her side, stiff as a statue.
Take care. Thanks for all your help.
Clara cups her hands around her mouth and yells, the energy of her voice carrying it even further than Yellowstone. Thanks. I raise my hand, and even though I'm moving now, I still feel stiff. From this far away, I doubt you can tell, but I gave a slight wave, just one, before turning around and starting back to the trail. It takes a while, but eventually I hear Yellowstone's footsteps shuffling behind me. Soon we're in a lockstep with each other, hiking in silence. Sky dim and orange. We're almost out of daylight here in Wyoming. I wonder how much light is left in California. So if I'm being honest with myself. Finishing up with the trash could be further from my mind at this point.
That sure was fun.
Looks up, gazing at the trees. The branches almost look like shadows in this script.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
You don't...
I don't know what I think.
If that's a lie. Do something. Helping out those hikers, but fear that I still might not be as hardened as I wish. Fear that maybe, some way, maybe you're wrong.
Well, I had a swell time.
The somber tenderness in Yellowstone's voice, like the volume in her, is turned down.
All those pleases and thank yous. It was nice, you know? I wish it could be like that all the time.
Feels like a rock just sank to my stomach, and now I can only sit there while I dwell on it. Once. Most people aren't grateful or even half interested. Even so, every so often you'll get someone like Clara and friends, but those are few and far between. For the most part, people are careless and destructive. They are, right? If they aren't, then our time has been. Jokers pass by us from the opposite direction. Their hairs matted from the gallons of sweat pouring out of them. They're both smiling. Yellowstone gasps.
We're almost at the tip-top! Come on, Slowpoke!
There's no time for me to live up to my new mentor, Slowpoke, though. Yellowstone grabs my wrist and tugs me along behind her. My feet stumbling over each other, struggling to match her pace.
Careful! You're gonna yank my arm out of my socket!
Stop.
Oh.
Below us, the sweeping valley of trees extends miles ahead, blanketing the earth with its greenery, cut off by a tiered cliff. A thinner drop would swallow everything in darkness, except for the sun's glowing orange reflection. Beyond even that, Park rolls off into the pink horizon. Touch on forever. All that anchors us here. Posted. Mount Washburn. Elevation 10,243 feet.
Ain't it a sight for sore eyes?
Very sore.
You too, huh?
Left at Yellowstone. Does look at me. For a long time we stare at each other. The blue in Yellowstone's eyes almost look gray. The color had been sucked out. How the color has been almost as excited. She's always so excitable. Always so loud, so bouncy. There's an off button girl. When she's sleeping, in more ways than I can count. They polar opposite. So why did it feel like we're on the same wavelength? I veer myself away from there off. Not looking at anything in particular.
Maybe.
Golly, you sure do have a lot of pride, Missy.
Don't assume things so much. You'll turn out like Yosemite.
Despite me being deathly serious, Yellowstone chuckles, slides off her hat, revealing her volcano. It's a reminder that whatever she is, or the other two girls are, not entirely.
You sure it's okay to take that off?
Yup. Folks usually don't come up here once it's dark.
Taking a knee, she wriggles out her backpack, zips it up, and the magician pushes from her sleeve, and folds a thicker blanket, and lays it out on the ground.
Come on, take a load off. It's wild comfy.
Pats the blanket, dust comes flying off it in small plumes. Doesn't bother me though, my aching feet rest. Just no dust. Pick Yellowstone up on her offer, flop down next to her, on top of the blanket, and feel myself sink in. Boy, it's like falling on a soft bed for long, refreshing.
It's always so nice kicking back up here. That crisp mountain air really helps you get back to nature.
Not that I don't agree, but
Aren't you technically nature?
giggling, Yellowstone slaps me on the back, trying to burp a baby. But maybe... well-meaning, I'm sure, but... well-meaning, I'm sure, but... how hard she's doing it, I feel like I'm going to somersault.
That's different, you goofball. This here is my special place.
Special place?
Yeah, everyone's gotta have a special place. I bet you have one too.
Think back to my old hikes back up Lemberdome. How when it was... I was at my peak, sweaty and scarf down, much of the air I could. Sit down on the rock. Journal. The wind was sometimes so fierce it ripped the papers right out of my notebook. But I was always able to make it work. He's back when
I'm a ranger. The entire park is my special place.
Yellowstone blows out an immense whistle that I swear echoes across the valley.
Phew. Can't argue with that kind of gumption now, can I?
Yellowstone's eyes widen.
Golly, I almost forgot. I gotta do laundry.
The burst of second wind, she unzips another one of the many zipper backpack.
Well, unless you take us home, there's not a whole lot you can...
Words have barely left my mouth when she dumps the trash bag full of clothes onto her head. Into her
Never
head.
mind.
Okay. It only gets more horrifying when she starts tossing in pods of detergent next.
Yosemite is gonna bust a gasket if I don't get this done. Eve, quick! Say something super mean to me. It's okay. I can take it.
Give me a determined nod, but I don't think she quite understands that I tend to specialize in this kind of... There's a reason those bozos back at the station called me a porcupine. She insists.
No one in the entire world, now or ever, will ever love you.
He also takes a moment to digest what I said. Face goes downcast.
Wow. What a bummer.
Nothing you do will ever be appreciated or acknowledged. It's pointless.
That's really heavy.
Tears spot the corners of her eyes. Whatever I'm doing must be working, because the sound of bubbling water begins to belch out of her volcano.
Pointless, just like your existence. If you think about it, if you keeled over tomorrow, your impact on the world would basically amount to nothing. I guess the worms would appreciate.
Here's me, I nearly tip over.
Knock it off! You're just being nasty now. You big bully!
Whimpering, she tries to sniff back the tears, but it doesn't stop the water from boiling at the top of her head. Instead of squirting out like geyser as before, it just bubbles the surface, the clothes rise to the top. Wadding up in a soapy ball, foam creeps down her head, snow resting on.
So does that mean it's working?
Yellowstone nods her head, snorting back the snot as she regains her composure.
Now it's just gotta stay like this for a little while.
And you have to do this every time you need to do laundry?
I can do it without all the waterworks, but it's slow as molasses.
I'm sorry. This is how you do laundry.
That sounds exhausting.
It's a laugh, but as quickly it fades into a sigh.
It is. But it's cool beans. I've always been a bit of a crybaby anyway.
Doesn't change the fact. That doesn't change the fact that this is how you do laundry.
In fact, the first thing I can remember is waking up and crying right over there.
Huh? Night follows along with the fingers until she finally settles on some shrubs on the hillside.
In the bushes.
Darn Skippy! And in my birthday suit to boot.
You know, that's the least weird thing ever. It would if you appeared in clothes as your first memory, I guess, kind of. Depends how old you were when you first appeared and woke up.
That's just asking for trouble.
I didn't have much of a choice. Once I woke up, I spent a long time on my own.
A hazy gaze lingers in Yellowstone's eyes. Her mouth hangs open like she's about to say something. For a long time, she doesn't. And all I can do is listen to the sound of her boiling head mixed with the wind.
A super long time.
Like a month?
Grip the blanket and nervously twist it, knowing full well my guess is on the conservative side. Maybe it's the look she's giving, or it's just
Longer.
my stomach takes another plunge. Even if I expected it, it's still sobering to hear.
I was keeping track of the days, but then there was this huge blizzard and I lost my spot. I was brushing up against 10,000 though.
No way!
No math genius, but I crunch numbers in my head really quick. 10,000 days is almost 30 years.
You wandered around Yellowstone National Park naked and alone for decades?
Not naked. I would have frozen my tiny hiney off years ago. You see, there was this nice gal who was out camping.
Yellowstone massaged the side of her head. It's beneath the base of her volcano, her eyes squinting like she's fighting a migraine.
I can't remember if she saw me first or if I stumbled on her. It's been so long, I don't even know what she looks like, but I do remember that she lent me her clothes, and that it was the first time I wasn't alone.
Yellowstone's voice sounds like a husk. Hearing it doesn't feel right, like listening to something forbidden. Try to fight it with the only thing I really know anyway. Cynicism.
Being alone out in the woods for a couple years doesn't sound too bad. Don't have to deal with other people, at least.
That's the thing. I didn't even know other people existed. Well, maybe I did, somewhere in the back of my noggin. But I sure hadn't seen them before. You're a lot like Yosemite.
I am certainly not!
It's true, though. You both gotta have your alone time. That's dandy and all, but for a gal like me, it was so... dope AF.
No. I'm gonna throw myself off this cliff if she says that one more time!
I'd never felt something like that before. It made me feel all kinds of warm and fuzzies, so I kept going out and looking for more people.
My eyes can't help but drift up to her volcano instead of smoke vapor coming from it, clouding the top of her head with hazy waves of heat.
Wouldn't people be...
Spooked?
I was going to say mortified, but that works.
As sure as the sun would rise.
Yellowstone gives a deflated sigh. The steam above her puffs out.
But if they stuck around long enough, I'd try to help them out. Bring them kindling wood or grub, things like that. Sometimes they'd even talk to me.
Her standard for communications are so low, it's kind of impressive. Part of me wonders if both me and Yellowstone are the same thing. Validation. Only difference is that Yellowstone was desperate enough to keep pursuing it, while I just...
But in the end, they'd always pack up and leave, and I'd be alone again.
The corners of the sky have been brushed with a deep, brilliant. It radiance with darkening blue. Two different colors from the opposite spectrum. Usually would clash, just that they blend and meld together, mixing into a faded lavender.
It was like that. It was always like that. Then Zion and Yosemite found me.
The question flies across my mind. How? Why would Yosemite and Zion even be in Yellowstone National Park? Something inside me tells me to save it for later. Whatever it is, it me from spouting out my knee-jerk reaction. It's the big difference between me and Yosemite. I actually have manners when I want to.
For the first time since I woke up on this rock, it felt like I had a place to belong. Like a family, you dig?
I dig.
Yellowstone claps her hand, rocking side to side as she recalls her nostalgia, the good old days.
Suddenly, I wasn't so lonesome anymore. Zion and Yosemite were both so chummy and nice to me. I wanted to do whatever I could to help out around the cabin.
Well, good to know Yosemite wasn't always a slave driver.
Yosemite didn't used to be a lot of things. Zion too, but in different ways.
The stream rising above her thickens a little, maybe even darker. Her pleasant stroll down memory lane comes to a dead end, her voice falling back to this unusual monotone sadness.
But now things are just so different. I try my darndest, but Yosemite is such a grump, and Zion can't help out like she used to. It's almost like I'm as lonesome as I was way back when.
Yellowstone sniffs, and the water in her head bubbles to the surface, sitting down her volcano in her hair.
Is that dumb, Eve? Am I just stinking thinking?
I don't think you're thinking. I think you're just not dying. Something my cold heart sizzles as she wipes a few twinkling tears from her sleeve. She laugh about it, but I think maybe I was onto something. Maybe me and Yellowstone might have a bit more in common than I like to admit. Could never be as open about it as her, but not one a brave face has gotten me this far, but that need for validation. Respect. Alone, kid.
I don't think it is.
Yellowstone's head over to look. So far, I'm afraid I'm to get whiplash. Looks at me like, well, like I was just out of a volcano from.
Wipe that look off your face before I take it back.
Put your hand across her dumbfounded face. When her hand reaches the other side of her cheek, wearing a stretched out frown that digs in.
How do I put this? It's like the dumbest, most intrusive thoughts are probably the most honest. If it's in your head, then there's probably a reason for it, right?
Yellowstone's strained frown has collapsed into a shocking amazement.
Do you get those dumb, implosive thoughts too, Eve?
Constantly. Wouldn't have clocked a guy in the face and ended up stationed at the cabin if I didn't.
Hot diggity.
Dog. Hot flush spreads through my face. I tug of war with the urge to divulge more information. On one hand, she basically kidnapped me and made it so that I'm all but guaranteed to get chewed out by Jesse. On the other hand, I feel like I owe it to her in a way. Nothing worse than feeling like you're the only one who cares. Just trying.
Actually, I had one of those implosive thoughts today.
Ooh, don't keep hanging! Spit it out!
She leans in so close that her volcano is practically in my ear. So the bubbling, it sounds like a cauldron. It smells like a laundromat.
So, those campers from earlier?
They would have been up a creek without us. Maybe even literally.
Them. Yeah. When we were helping them out, one of them said something to me about how her old man used to take her camping before he passed.
Wowzers, that's kind of a shocker, seeing as they all looked scared of ya.
Trust me, you're not the only one who's shocked. It gave me this weird feeling.
Like those warm fuzzies I was talking about?
Yessa wraps herself in her arms like she's curling up in a blanket.
Nah, the opposite. Like, I wanted to puke.
Yikes. You really do hate people, huh?
That's what I thought. I deal with so many clowns and chuckleheads every day, I could build a circus. But this group wasn't that. They were just good kids. Looking back, a lot of visitors are. At the very least, they can shut up and follow directions. They're like cattle. Round them up and ship them off so I don't have to deal with them. So when one comes along to remind me that she's a real person, it's
A suck-a-punch?
something like that.
I let a sigh right as the wind howls past us. Just the trees.
I've been doing this way too long. It's rotted me to my core.
The core is better than nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing is all I would have left if it turned out to. I tried being vulnerable and open. For years I did. It all left me. Yellowstone leaps to her feet, Hot water splashes everywhere.
Bogus talk. Sounds to me like you had a bonding moment and you're too chicken to admit it.
The fighter in me swings up without a second thought.
I am not afraid of admitting anything.
Even if I'm swinging way outside the truth.
Oh, yeah? Not even that you had fun helping those campers out?
I freeze. Stare. Look away. Damn it! Now she knows. Yellowstone crouches down, leading even closer as she tries to coax the answer out of me.
Not even an itsy bitsy teeny wee.
Okay, fine.
Fine. I swat her away, just throwing fly.
It was sorta nice to help out people who were genuinely enthusiastic.
And don't forget grateful.
I'm
Yeah.
grateful.
That's another one to put on the list.
Don't you just wish it could always be like this?
I took a little, brushing myself off as I climbed to my feet.
Sure. Wish Pop would crap gold too, but I think I'll be waiting a while for both of those miracles.
Why can't we just make it happen ourselves?
What? What do you mean?
I can't make Pup crap gold. When she turns to look at me, it's the smoldering fire of excitement in her eyes. Tendrils of smoke rise from her volcano ears.
The miracles?
Huh? I take a step backwards, feeling a sudden urge of heat emanating from Yellowstone. Her foot slips on a pebble, and I grasp the guardrail to keep from falling. I never see a laugh.
That's a nice thought, but it's about time we head home, don't you think?
Why? Who says we have to go home?
What are you talking about? Of course we have to go back.
Do we, though? Do we really?
Soft orange glow starts to light up head. Shy sunlight. Sunset.
Okay, whatever you're doing definitely isn't funny. Just take us home now. We've been here long enough.
Wouldn't have minded staying a few minutes longer, just to let her enjoy it, but the way she's acting now, I don't like it. It gives me a bad feeling. The kind I feel before getting a serious call from dispatch. Something instinctive. Yellowstone sticks her head, causing the smoke to weave a hazy spiral in the air.
Just think about it, Eve. We can go around helping folks and they'll always appreciate it. And nobody will ever yell at us.
I get how you feel, but that wasn't...
If you get it, then why not? Were you just fibbing when you said all that stuff about people being good?
Question just smacked across the face. I'm not even sure how to go about responding to that first.
That's not important. I have responsibilities. You have responsibilities.
No, Yosemite says I have responsibilities. I only ever wanted to help, but not if nobody cares.
You brat.
I feel all the goodwill that Yellowstone has built up over the day tumbling away.
This little crisis you're having? I've been dealing with it every day for the last 5 years, so don't you even try to lord it over me. Your stunt has already cost me the entire day. My supervisor is never gonna let me hear the end of it.
With each sentence, I step closer to her, regaining the distance I lost earlier. Yellowstone just shakes her head like a petulant 5-year-old, tuning out or ignoring what I say.
She's going to be asking what caused me to abandon my duties. And the truck, which is government property, I might add, and I'm not gonna have anything good to tell her. So the least you can do, literally the absolute least, is take me back like you promised and suck it up like I do.
Finally, willow over an arm's length away from each other.
You don't get it.
Voice is a hoarse whisper. Smoke swirls from her head, wrapping around us.
Say that again.
Reached out for her, ready to drag her ass back to Yosemite National Park myself.
No one gets it!
With a violent heat ripples off of Yellowstone, hard enough that it drives me back again. I put my hand to my forehead, shield myself.
Ah! What the hell?
The air simmers in front of her as Yellowstone clenches her fists. Black smoke mars the ground beside her, where she just obliterated some poor weeds. Bits of charred laundry rained down on us. For a brief moment, I can see something like regret in her. But then she switches back to looking upset. I don't even know why. I haven't had time to ask. She jumps from 0 to 212 in just a couple seconds. My mouth goes dry.
I thought maybe, just maybe, you would understand. But I was wrong. You're just like Yosemite! Well, I'm sick of it!
Step backwards, the entire ground shakes. Startled birds take this to the sky, abandoning the trees in droves. I lose my balance, falling onto my knees. The ground rumbles yet again. Yellowstone unleashes a frustrated, blood-curdling scream. My hand goes from shooting my forehead to cover my ears. When the scream is over, I look up just in time to see Yellowstone disappear into the woods.
Hey! Where do you think you're going?
Didn't do any good. Well, it didn't do any good though. All that remains of her presence is the ashy ground where she stood. The remains of the laundry. I think one of Yosemite's socks landed. Blanket. I stumble to my feet and give chase. It's difficult to follow her because I keep losing my footing, but I do my best. Other campers and hikers fly past in various degrees of panic. I don't hear what they say.
You little brat! I'm gonna shove my foot so far up your ass, it'll come out that volcano!
Animals go by too. Terrified rabbits and mice. A few desperate deer all careen past. I can only imagine what it's like in other parts of the park if they're affected.
Yellowstone!
I must sound like an idiot to anyone who hears me just screaming the name of the park, but I don't care. I need to find Yellowstone. The girl. Get out of here. As I run, I have to recognize the futility of what I'm doing. I have no idea what direction you might have gone in, and it's already dark and getting darker. I don't even have a flashlight. With a sick sense of irony, I realize that I'm doing exactly what I yelled at unprepared hikers do. Wandering off the path without a plan. I keep running, my hat flies off my head. I reach to grab it, but the ground rumbles again.
Whatever.
With the ground, I leave it. I keep calling for Yellowstone. For a second, I think I can see the glow of a volcano. When I get closer, I realize it's just the ashes of a recently abandoned campfire. Whoever made it probably left when the earthquake began. I quickly smother it in dirt since I'm unable to smother my ranger's missing. More and more distressed birds abandon the trees while agitated mice and the like continue to whisk by underfoot. My heart pounds both from the exertion and from fear. The altitude doesn't make it any easier. What if I can't find her? What if she doesn't want to be found? Up ahead, I pass by more trees, then realize that I'm at the edge of the mountain once again. Since this isn't a foresty spot, there's no guardrail. It's just open space beyond. The yawning, inky darkness, waiting below. And not a single trace of Yellowstone. Just as I think that, the shaking of the rumbling starts up again. Once more, I feel myself wobbling and start to fall over. Except this time, I'm not able to catch myself. My feet slides off from under me, and I slam onto my side, hard as the momentum just carries me to the rest of the way over to the edge. Pebbles and dirt batter my face, the scratch to find a handhold. Vile and pure, unadulterated panic sear my throat as my fingers find the slightest slip of rock and grab hold of it.
Crap! Not again!
My voice bounces off the rocks beyond me, or below me, creating a rippling echo that rings out into the darkness. My hand stings and my arm aches from the effort of supporting me. It's only a couple seconds. It's pathetic. Worst of irony. My life doesn't flash before my eyes, so maybe that's the good sign, unless that... Right before you hit the ground. I strain my muscles to try to pull myself up. It reminds me of my training back in, Glencoe. Feel the burn, Adams, feel the burn! A trickle of dust pours onto my face as the rock ledge I'm holding onto starts to crumble. Feel the stones starting to slide past my fingers. Damn it! It won't be able to hold my weight. Really good. It's really gonna happen like this, huh? I spent years of my life telling people to be careful around cliffs, only end up falling off on myself. The universe sure does have a way of kicking me when I'm down. I shut my eyes. It's not so bad. At least this long joke will finally be over. Stone gets away. I fall. A force pressing against my back. My boots grind against the cliffside as I slow to a footing stop. The sound of roaring wind is replaced with the flapping of two other overworked wings. A small familiar voice squeaks out from behind me. Squeaks.
Miss Eve, you're really heavy.
Squeak?
Zion?
My eyes drift down to my feet. If someone's looking at this sideways, it might seem like I'm walking off the cliff.
Don't worry, Miss Eve. We've got you.
We?
Is she here too?
I glance back at Zion, but I immediately regret it when I realize I still can't see the bottom.
What do you mean by she? I could have just left you to plummet to your death, you know.
Hi. Spider-Man? 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 Hey, Yosemite, Spider-Man? Come on. I don't want to. Spider-Man me. Spider-Man me. Come on. Yosemite. I know you want to. Spider-Man me. Over here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. I know you want to. I know you want to, Yosemite. Just do it. Just Spider-Man me. Yosemite's harsh voice carries above me. I look up to see her holding out her hand. Without thinking, I grab it. Zion, finally free of the burden that is me, slides down to my boots and holds them up. With my head heave, Yosemite pulls me up onto the cliff.
Miss Eve, are you okay?
Am I okay? I paw at the ground, half expecting it to erode and fall away, or to realize that I'm dead. That Yosemite and Zion being here are just fantasies in my brain, concocted to help me accept it.
Did the fall make you forget how to talk?
Yosemite slaps my hat over my head. It's crooked.
I'm okay. Thank you.
I quickly stood up, shame keeping me from looking into Yosemite's eyes, or I found people to be indebted to.
How did you find me out here?
The paintings work both ways. Also, I had Zion patrol the bottom of the cliff because I figured you were already dead.
Wow, fuck you.
That's comforting.
Zion tugs at my sleeve.
Miss Eve, not to interrupt, but do you know where Yellowstone is?
That's right.
I push my palm and it makes a loud smack. The whole almost dying thing almost made me forget about her.
I was just looking for that brat, actually.
The two of you weren't together?
She ran off. We were just talking, and then all of a sudden she got really pissy. Reminded me of you, actually. I was going after her, and then all this happened.
Yosemite and Zion's face both go pale.
Uh-oh. That might be a problem.
How mad was she?
I don't know. Why are you being attacked by your conscience now?
Yeah, why now of all times, motherfucker? Conversations with Yosemite always put me on the offensive, but even Yosemite doesn't rise to my bait this time.
I mean it. Was she truly angry?
I guess so? What does that have to do with anything?
Do you know where you are? Does Yellowstone National Park not mean anything to you?
There are a couple of iconic elements to that park. The wildlife, the geysers, the...
No. That can't be what's happening.
Deductive reasoning, put the pieces together. She is Yellowstone National Park. She's at Yellowstone National Park. What do you think is going to happen when she erupts in Yellowstone National Park?
That volcano has been dormant for centuries. It can't just go off on a whim.
Thanks for the insight, little Miss Geologist, but that's not going to actually stop it from happening. And when it does...
Yellowstone's gonna flip her lid!
Finally, someone used that phrase properly. Congrats.
There's no way. She can't cause an eruption or anything, right?
Do I look like I'm messing with you right now? Does any of this?
Gestures around at the empty forest, still rocked by occasional tremors.
No.
I hate it when I have to admit she's right.
Do you know why she was upset?
Technically, you guys.
Seriously? Did you not see how she stormed out of the cabin in a huff this morning?
She's still angry over that? This girl will be the death of me, I swear.
Yosemite, for fuck's sake. Funny that she says that, considering that literally almost the death of her annoys me. Doesn't mean twice.
Well, I might have gotten a little snippy with her, but only because she started going on about how she wanted us to stay here forever. Not a bad idea, but I have work.
Pinching the bridge of her nose, Timmy lets out a long sigh.
Thanks for making a bad problem worse.
You're the fucking problem, Yosemite.
I didn't. I wasn't trying to.
Stuttered through my words, not sure if I should be apologizing or defending myself, or what. I can say feels right.
It's okay, Miss Eve. I know you didn't mean to doom Western civilization.
As if on cue, the rumbling underground starts up once the worm's eye goes airborne and avoided. Well, I used the trees to know.
We need to find her fast. You have no idea where she might be.
None. She ran off a while ago. I don't know which direction she went.
We'll have to hope we get lucky then.
Hitting a flashlight, the two of them have their own as well. Switching on the beams, we look around, find traces of Yellowstone moving as quickly as we can.
I doubt she's gone very far. She's probably hiding somewhere close by. Even she has to be aware of what's going on. I don't think she's stupid enough to let it happen, but still.
She's all alone. She must be really scared.
Her fault for running off.
Yosemite! Stop it! That's generalizing the situation a bit. The flashlights that we have are very powerful and cutting through the darkness easily. Still, without any real idea of where to start looking, it feels like the task's futile.
Seriously, if she wasn't so overdramatic about every little thing, we wouldn't have half as many issues as we do.
Yosemite tilts the beam upwards as if Yellowstone might be hiding in a tree. I get a glimpse of just how annoyed Yosemite herself looks. I won't lie, there's a couple of choice words, or beatings, I'd like to give Yellowstone when we find her, but that's not like it's entirely wrong to be upset. Yosemite isn't just a nag. She's actively being antagonistic towards her.
Yellowstone! Come out, wherever you are!
Diane flutters a bit off the ground, just enough to put the top of her head above just put the top of her head level with mine. You're exhausted to worry about other people seeing her right now. We all have bigger things to worry about.
Yeah, come out! Don't you think you've done enough already?
Yosemite, for fuck's sake, you're making nothing better.
That's sure to make her want to meet up with us.
Did I ask for your opinion? I can't imagine I would.
Yosemite, please, I love you, but calm your tits. You're the source of the problem. My teeth grit together until the bottom set slides out. This girl must have a grapefruit size set on her to blow me off like that. Isn't this diva the one always thrusting her opinions on me when I don't want them?
Well, that's what you're gonna get. So shove it, you overgrown tree.
Yosemite turns to glare at me, face twisting in anger. Flashlight shines up her chin, illuminating half her face, leaving the other half in shadow. Yosemite can't flip the scare factor whenever she wants, just like the night we met. She's not half bad at it either. Unfortunately for her, I can be scarier.
I've spent the better part of my day with Yellowstone. It might have been borderline kidnapping, but I think it's given me a good handle on why she's acting up.
Oh, the ranger has a theory. This is gonna be rich.
It's more than a theory. And with all the moral dribble you try to cram into my head, I would have thought you'd be more aware of it.
Aware of what?
That Yellowstone is acting out because she's not getting any validation.
Yosemite lets out a sigh of guffaw, like some kind of rich Victorian woman.
Oh, Eve. Poor, precious, obvious Eve. You're projecting.
Excuse me?
It's not hard to piece together. You need validation for your miserable job, so of course you think Yellowstone needs it too.
My initial reaction is to spat my flashlight over her head, and earlier today, I probably would have. But the more I think about it, the more I realize something.
Maybe you're right.
Nobody does a double take. Shocked at first, suspicion starts to creep up on her face. She knows there's more coming.
But if that's what helped me relate to her, then so what? I'm not saying the little conehead is completely right, but would it kill you to show a little empathy?
Empathy? Really?
Gets in close. Her chin about touches my forehead. When I look up, meet her eyes.
Is that what you showed those campers this morning?
I look away.
That's what I thought.
That's a straw man. What a dirty trick. But I get the point. I'm not exactly in a position to defend people who have a penchant for screwing up. But there are people behind mistakes. People like Clara and her outdoorsy dad. Then he walks away, shining her flashlight back in forgotten paths and shaking trees.
Listen close, Eve. There's a difference between being ignorant and insistently inconveniencing others. Yellowstone is like a child who won't mind. She's just throwing a tantrum until someone notices her. Don't be that person. I can only hope she's not dumb enough to.
Will you stop being so mean to Yellowstone?
Yosemite and I both freeze in our tracks as Zion's voice cuts her off. We both turn to face the little cherub. Looks very unhappy.
It's like you aren't even hearing what Eve's saying. Maybe Yellowstone is lashing out, but she's only doing that because she's sad. Yellowstone loves helping. It's her favorite thing in the whole wide world, but wouldn't you be sad if no one ever thanked you? All you do is complain about her, even though she does so much for us. Maybe I'm not the best at saying thank you to her either, but at least I don't say lots of mean things about her when she's not even around. You always tell people to be smart and to help others be smart. Then why can't you tell Yellowstone what she's doing wrong and help instead of just calling her dumb? Ugh, you make me so mad!
Flaps her wings angrily, moves closer to Yosemite, who watches, open-mouthed.
You're nothing but a big old hypocrite!
Now Yosemite's mouth snaps shut like a mousetrap. He blinks several times. There were budding tears leaking out. Meekly not. Have anything to say, Zion descends to the ground. Her footsteps light enough to not make a sound. Marches off towards a bush nearby.
What? Where are you going?
To find Yellowstone.
Look to Yosemite, shooting her face with her arm. Focus on muffled.
Wow.
What? What are you looking at? Keep walking!
Tries to wipe her tears, but it makes her eyes more red. Back away and follow Zion. So somebody just got chewed out a toddler. Zion kneels down and crowd around her to see what she's doing. Somebody drags way behind. There, meet the bush Zion showed. Cute little bunny rabbit. Ash gray. Black spot. And deliberately aims the beam of flashlight to not blind him. Lands while she lays a hand against it. Then I realize that it's in fear. Little tremors and spasms. Ones that have shaking the earth. Wild eyes.
Poor thing.
Shh. I thought you'd been looking. And shushes me. Finger against it. Gently, ever so gently, she strokes the hapless butt. Rabbit, soon its shaking stops. Goes down. After a minute or two, it even leans in its head against Zion, asking for more pet. That's when Zion stands up. The bunny hops off.
I know where Yellowstone is now. The rabbit saw her in a clearing not too far away from here.
You can talk to animals?
Don't be silly, Miss Eve. Animals can't talk.
I exchange a glance with Yosemite, but she puffs and puffs. At this point, I'm just along with her on the ride, wherever it takes me. Dan sets off into the forest, seeming like she knows where she's going. She mostly goes on foot, but occasionally lifts herself onto the to avoid forest debris. After a bit, there's rustling sounds ahead, not too far away from where Zion is. Yosemite, flashlight, right into Yellowstone's tear-stained.
No! Don't look at me!
A couple of sad whimpers of smoke rise from over the camp, more like a cobweb. The glow in the heat from before are gone. Yellowstone's eyes are puffy from crying. Sleeves or hoodie are in the sun.
Yellowstone is just us. We were super worried about you.
Dan takes a few steps and
Don't come any closer! I screwed up real bad this time.
Yellowstone starts to sob, choking out words, breaths.
I'm sorry, I'm so useless. I can't do anything right. Everyone's so smart, and nice, and responsible, but I'm none of that stuff. I'm just a stupid crybaby who can't even do chores without screwing it all up. None of you should have to put up with me. And I know, right in the pit of my gut, that you all would be so much happier if I just wasn't around. I'm sorry you had to find me way back when. I'm sorry for being no good.
Don't you dare say that about yourself!
Hurries over to her friend, wrapping her arms around Dylan. Kneels down closer to the ground. They embrace each other. Yellowstone sobs, hard and fast.
But I burned the laundry.
Done something. Dear God. Laundry, I almost forgot. I almost forgot it in all the panic. They were in her head when she went and exploded. I hope mine was in explode.
Who cares about those old clothes? I was afraid that I wouldn't get to say thank you for having my clothes.
Thank you, Possum. I'm out of water. I'm out of water. I forgot about that. This is for you, Possum. That just makes Yellowstone cry even harder. Even tried to talk, she cries and cries, poking Zion's shoulder, but not that Zion seemed to mind. Yosemite and I maintain our distance. It's quieter, but I think she might be sobbing harder than Yellowstone. Her chest heaving up and down. Tries to stay quiet. I scooted in a little closer. At Yosemite's shoulder. Shaking has completely stopped for now. Feeling quiet. I look over the trees and the sky. In the branches, it looks like a portal.
Would you look at that? It's a clear night.
Reprimands, write-ups, trail duty. You'll be helping Simmons clean up so much trash that the plastic is going to biodegrade before you're done.
Ah! I flinch away with the headset as Jesse continues to squawk out new additions to the growling list of punishments I'll be receiving.
With all due respect, ma'am, if I've proven my incompetence at taking out the trash, then maybe that isn't the best course of action?
My voice stiffens. It sounds like the revelation of a 2x4. But if I appeal to Jesse's paramilitary side, I might be able to get out of this. Pauses. Nothing. But static coming from this line. Will actually be able to pull this off?
Cute. Let's see if you can keep up that charm when dealing with the field trip group tomorrow. Any other holes you want to dig?
Not really.
Yikes. Just lay down the law. She is the law. Still, it's not like I can actually explain myself. What I say? Sorry I neglected my duties and left the government's truck in the middle of nowhere, but Yellowstone, the girl, took me to Yellowstone, the park. Might as well trade my badge for a straitjacket at that point. Groaning, Jesse fakes a cry that sounds like a little too real.
Ugh. Why do you always make my job so much harder, Eve? Is it fun? I remember when I used to have fun.
Oh boy, I really did it this time.
Look, I'm really sorry, Jesse. Something came up, and I had to,
I cough, but there's no way I can say with a straight face. And I...
hitch a ride back and take care of it.
Got it. Sounds even worse out loud.
Take the truck, then! I had to send Ernie to go get it. Now I'm down a man, and there's 24 completely full trash cans in high-occupancy areas. As if I didn't already have enough on my hands with all this Yellowstone business. Do you know how many locals called me about the earthquakes?
Yeah.
Please tell me it was just one lone idiot.
Try 42. Today.
Oh. Someone give this poor woman a break. Whatever she makes isn't enough.
It's like, hello? This isn't even the right park. And even if it were, I don't have any information that's not on the news. And I don't think my degree in criminal justice qualifies me to try and gather more.
Oh, you have a degree in criminal justice? That's fucking cool. What the hell, Jesse? Hey,
I'm
cool.
at the end of my rope, and it's starting to look more and more like a noose.
Past 12 hours, the news cycle has been ablaze with reports of volcanic activity in Central and Yellowstone National Park. Several earthquakes, one of which was a 7.2 in the have also been reported. All scientist types have been up in arms. Young guys with messy hair on the talk shows huffing and puffing about how catastrophic this could be. Call it a hunch, but I think it's all going to die down in a few days.
Well, it sounds like you have your work cut out for you. Give me a call if you need a hand. I'm not good for much, but maybe I can help you manage the chaos.
Aw, Eve.
You're not getting your duties that easily. In my head, I can clearly see her bring her hand to her chest in appreciation.
I always knew you were good. You just need a push in the right direction.
Okay, never mind. She's being actually. I thought she didn't.
That's me, Eve the Good Ranger.
I was like, "Aw, Eve, you can't get out your duties that easily."
Well, Eve the Good Ranger, don't think your newfound kindness means you're off the hook.
There we go. Her voice gets quieter, but she does sound closer than ever. But she sounds closer than ever, as if her lips are brushing against the mic.
Not by a long shot.
Static.
Over and out.
Thank you. More static. There we go. I slid aside the mic and headset, and ominous sense of washes over me as I drag myself over to my spot at the table.
Trouble in paradise?
Sure. Yosemite peers over her book. I flop down in my chair and glance over at Yellowstone, who is busy working away at the sink.
Nothing worth opening wounds over.
Sunlight bursts through the window, the flimsy curtain doing little to inhibit it. It drapes itself like a hazy cat above the table, warming the pages of my hand. Pick up my pen. It is in my grasp, Robert Teddy. To one page already half full. Words, I pause, staring at the window. As I try to think of what to write next. Yosemite alternates between sipping her tea and writing a few words. She catches me staring once, but rather than a challenge or an insult, she just nods in acknowledgement. An unspoken truce between us. Not far away, Pup and Zion sit beside each other on the floor. Pup wolfs down a bowl of honest puppy chow, his long tongue assaulting every single peck of food. Zion balances her bowl of oatmeal on her knees, a generous portion of raisins, creating the surface. Tries, unsuccessfully, feed one to Pup.
That's not coyote food either, is it?
Yellowstone glances over from the hot stove where she's cooking, then looks up, a raisin still stuck to her finger.
Coyote food?
Yup. Weren't you saying the other day that he shouldn't have any people food?
Zion frowns for a second, and then smiles wide.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Sorry, boy. I shouldn't have teased you with this.
There's on her finger rejoins the rest of its kind. Pup seems woefully indifferent. He's finished his meal and is pushing his bowl around the food as he tries to slurp every last one. Yellowstone smiles to herself as she tries to stir the eggs and flip the pancakes. I'm not sure what anyone else. As she cooks, she occasionally darts away from the stove, place an errant book back on the shelf, or to wipe down the stains left behind by a coffee mug. She rinses out the percolator and deposits it in the sink. Then with the same motion, she deftly slides a perfectly round pancake on a plate. She repeats the process several times before carrying 2 steaming plates on the table.
Bon appetit!
Got that wrong. It's a thought that counts. She slides one of the plates in front of me. It's laden with fluffy scrambled eggs and equally fluffy pancakes.
This looks great, like always.
Yellowstone beams in response, then swoops over to the other side of the table, proudly delivering Yosemite's breakfast, safe distance away from the open book. Yosemite slides that away as she her fork.
Thanks.
Yellowstone's hand freezes just inches above the table. I also set down the bite of food I was about to take, staring at Yosemite.
What?
He hurriedly chews and swallows her first bite of food, looking from me to Yellowstone and back again. Two big old tears swim in Yellowstone's eyes, tears of joy.
Don't mention it.
I can't believe my ears. She knows how to say the T word after all.
Wow! You can teach an old dog new tricks. Tiffany glares at me, but it's not as sharp as usual. After all, she knows she can't really deny it in this case, so she just rolls her eyes, sheathing the daggers, and goes back to her breakfast. With a bounce to her step, Yellowstone goes back to her own meal. Pancakes are as perfect and as delicious as I devour them with gusto, and a lot like Pup in his meal. Some of the syrup from the cake spilled over into the giving them a tinge of sweet. Scarf them down too. Spend our whole meal in comfortable silence, save for the occasional whines from Pup and the giggles from Zeon, who plays with him. Once we're finished, I collect both my plate and Yosemite's and start to carry him to like a holy missile. Yellowstone interrupts me, whisking the plates out of my hands before I can even protest.
Oops, I can handle those. Just gotta shake a tail feather here.
I have pancake and most of Yellowstone's scrambled eggs remain on her plate.
It's okay. You can finish eating. I can take care of these.
Reach my hand, reach for mine and Yosemite's plates once again, but Yellowstone holds them out of reach. They're already a precarious stack of dirty dishes in the sink. Don't know how she plans to add those on without making a mess.
It's no sweat. No siree.
Despite the visible beads of sweat on her face, Yellowstone keeps up the facade.
Hey, seriously, just let...
Yellowstone starts to lose her balance and syrup fork slides in her plate and clatters to the ground below. Pup flinches in surprise, growling at the insolent piece of silverware that's dared to enter its domain.
Oops, sorry about that.
Here you go. It's even dirtier now, though.
Dirt and dust cling to the maple syrup, clogging up the tines of the fork. Yellowstone grimaces as she tosses it into the sink, aware of the extra scrubbing it needs. I settle back into my seat, recognizing that Yellowstone's not going to let me win this.
I mean it. I don't mind helping out.
But Yellowstone just waves away my offer, despite the fact that she's using one hand to balance our dishes and the other hand to try to cut her pancakes so she can eat.
It's okay.
A deep, deep sigh. When he places a bookmark in her journal, stands up. Everyone turns to look at her, expecting some tirade about how she can't focus with all the noise going on. But instead, she faces Yellowstone, smiles.
How about I help out instead?
Yellowstone's face cycles through a variety of emotions, faster than I can process. To her credit, she doesn't start crying again.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Now hurry up before I change my mind.
Okay.
Educate yourself. Then I set Teddy aside. Outside, a loud banging sound begins to disturb the quiet park air. There's the distinctive sound of a door being thrown open and the familiar voice.
Told me you had taken care of it last night. I don't know where the stinking office is, and I don't know if they can help us.
Well, go find someone. We can't go all day without water.
I know. Just give me a second to think.
Freaking couple from yesterday with their clunky tin can. I reach my hat, put it on, adjusting my uniform just a little bit so my badge is visible.
Are you gonna go give them what for?
No, not this time.
I head to the front door, my hand on the knob. From the sink, Yosemite glances at me over her shoulder. Gives me a nod.
I'm gonna go help out.
Woo! Clap, 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 clap. Patchy, patchy. Patchy, 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 patchy. Woo! Very sad. This is a very sad episode. This is a very sad episode. Very sad episode. But also very cute, very nice, very needed in the relationship. You know? Hello. Hello. Focus on my phone. Oh look, it's Evelyn. It's Ava. Ava from Rational Disasters commenting on my post. What a time.
Tracing past that finally set me free. I looked again and this is what I see. My heart burns red, it dreams of reality. Open your
Can't move
eyes and tell me what you see. I'm on
It's in front of me.
my way, I know where.
The wings.
Broken wings can be
Just the wings.
on my way, I
Can't put it behind me in this.
Howdy, campers, and welcome back to another edition of mine and Zion's Fireside Chat.
Woo!
Hello. It's very nice to be here.
Hi.
There was a whole lot of ruckus about the Yellowstone supervolcano in today's episode. We're pretty sure most of you got the gist of it.
Did we though? Did we though?
But we're a tiny bit afraid it might have gone over some of your heads.
I know it would have whizzed over mine if it weren't for the fact that it is my head.
It is your head. You are correct. It is in fact your head. Yep.
So that's what we're going to talk about today. Some basic information about the Yellowstone supervolcano.
Woo! I love info dumping. I love learning things I'll never ask about ever again in my life. I love this. It's a great topic at hand.
Yosemite says learning is super important, so I hope you can take this knowledge with you wherever you go in the world.
I turned up the frickin' the auto speed. It did jack shit. Auto is not going faster. It's the same speed as normal. Great. You know, what was the point?
Because you
nothing.
just gotta know a thing or two about gastrology if you like national parks.
That's the slowest setting. That's how it works. That's how that shit works. Wait, up makes it go slower. That makes no sense. Makes no sense to me.
I think you meant to say geology, Yellowstone.
Geology!
Why the fuck is it like that?
Great! Now just say that word over and over until you can't forget it.
Geology.
So while she's doing that, I should probably start off by explaining that the supervolcano is what we call a caldera.
Caldera.
A caldera is a big hollow space that's made after a lot of magma is shot out during an eruption. If enough magma is shot out, the ground above it loses support and the whole thing goes tumbling into the magma chamber.
That's geology for ya. Can't understand a lick of it.
Hell yeah.
Well, I'm glad you remembered how to say it at least.
Wowzers, give me some credit here. There's a whole lot of stuff I can remember.
Really? I'd like to hear what you know.
Okie dokie, artichoke. Hang tight, cause I'm about to drop some super hot volcano facts on ya. First off, the volcano has only ever had a gigantic eruption 3 times. And they all happened between 2.1 million years ago and 640,000 years ago.
I have this. Of course I don't need.
Does that mean when you almost flipped your lid, that was the first time it had been active in a super duper long time?
Nuh-uh. Just cause it hasn't gone kaboom in a minute doesn't mean it's not active.
What?
What?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of good old-fashioned volcano junk happening underground. In fact, the cause of... One sec, gotta look at my hand. Geothermal! In fact, it's because of all the geothermal vents that we have a whole slew of geysers across the park, including my gal Old Faithful. Ain't that just groovy?
That is pretty dope AF. But what if it goes kaboom for real? It's a little scary to think about.
No need to freak. As long as I don't flip my lid again, it should be all good in the neighborhood.
Oh, that's a relief. Thank goodness.
But...
Uh-oh.
A lot of tiny earthquakes do happen in Yellowstone, somewhere in the ballpark of 2,500 every year.
Oh, that's more than I would have expected.
Relax! It's just nature doing its thing.
It doesn't sound so bad when you say it like that.
It's totally gonna blow one day, though.
Please don't say something so terrifying so casually.
Not today, cutie. Or tomorrow. Or even in the next couple centuries. But it will. One day. And when it does, a big old plume of ash is gonna pelt down on Wyoming and all the other surrounding states. Plant life and livestock will be suffocated by it and kick the bucket. Maybe even regular folks, too. Buildings and equipment are probably gonna get squashed by all the rock. Entire communities might be wiped off the map. Worst case scenario, the delays in agriculture and production could lead to a global economic freefall.
Where's Zion? Where's Zion is having a crisis.
Looks like we're all out of time. Catch you next time, campers. And remember to love our parks.
Traumatized.
Wiped off the
Poor
map.
Zion is fucking traumatized. Oh god. Poor sweet summer child. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Jesus. Christmas Christ.
Wiped off.
Dear God, Christmas Christ. That's the sentence I said. That made no sense at all. Dear Christmas Christ. Reasonable speed. Anyways, that was back to the face cam screen, the quote-unquote face cam screen. Whee! That was the home rigmarole. There's the slideshow. Lost the slide. On the slideshow. Currently paused. Need 2 songs in the background. Anyways, that was look, it's art. I got new art. Oops, sorry by accident. Can you guess who drew this one? Can you get a guess who drew this possum? Take a wild guess as I look at the mic. Which means I look at the drawing. Mic is in display on screen, but the mic is this way in reality. Take a guess who drew this. You did this nice little doodle, this nice little sketch, nice little thing as I look for someone to raid. No, not extant. I'm just saying that I'm looking at the mic, which is very funny because the mic, again, the mic is this way, like in reality, but on screen is this way. The mic has nothing to do with the artist. I just think a funny comment on the fact that I'm looking at my mic in real life, which is not where the mic is on the screen. Nothing to do with the actual artist. I'm just saying. I'm just thinking aloud about how hilarious it is. Take a guess. Take a wild guess. It's someone you know of. You know the person. It's a fact. You know the person exists. It's a fact. You know they are a living creature of existence. Yep. When describe it, a living creature of existence. That's my description. That's Ruby's guess. Your guess, possum. No, it's not. It's not Bolivia. It was. Ready to hear this? Ready for this, possum? It was. Como. Como drew it. Como did it on stream. Someone started doing it and started doing the sketch, doing the doodle. I walked away. I wasn't looking at my phone. I got back, looked at my phone, looked at the shirt. Why is there a star on the shirt? There's horns. There's ears. There's a star on the shirt. Why the fuck is Tomo drawing me? Why is Tomo drawing me of all people? And then she did a cursed thing of a homesick version. It's cursed. Look at that cursed motherfucker. Yeah, it was Tomo. It's also why I made that tweet, Possum. It's also why I made that tweet. Because she couldn't fucking find my reference sheet. She couldn't find a proper reference sheet, so she went to my Twitch and ripped the PNG tuber information image. Then I was like, why the fuck are you using that? You know, I have reference on my Twitter, and she's like, where? Where is it? Where the fuck is the ref? And I was like, it's there. Just scroll down the media. It's like the 8th one down. And then she found it. She did like I don't know how long, probably like 5 minutes to look for a ref, then couldn't find it easily because I didn't have it pinned at the time. And that's why I made the tweet today. She made that drawing yesterday, at like 5-ish p.m. EST, so like 4 your time. Yeah, she did the drawing yesterday. It was quite, but it's probably in the VOD. You probably find it in the VOD. It's in the VOD somewhere. Like around the end of this game? I don't know where. I don't remember. She did a bunch of things. Did some arts while I was walking home. We started talking. Did some talking. Nice. It was a fun time. Anyways, about to look for someone to raid real quick. Sadly, no one playing any Elon games except me. my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. I'm gonna have to go for a stranger. Here. Makes sense. Our social. I don't know what that's in the 40s. Why is no one I know ever stream at this time? This is a perfectly reasonable time to be streaming. It's a perfectly reasonable time to be alive and streaming. No one ever is doing it though. None of my friends are ever alive at this time. It's a shame, really. What are you doing? I don't know what you're doing. Pac-Man. Arcade Cap. Interesting. I'm gonna go be right back. This is great time. I'm gonna look at them. No, I will not give you an hour and a half. I'm not gonna do that. That's unreasonable. I have things to do. I have things to be doing. Called shower and eating food. I can't very well do those two things on stream. Because one of those will get me banned if I do it on stream. The other one, I won't get anything done if I do it on stream. Oh, giant butt is on. Oh, I found a random person playing Minecraft. We're gonna raid Minecraft first. We're gonna random person playing Minecraft. Because why not? Women, they yearn for the mine. They yearn for the mine. I can't. Well, hope you have a lovely rest of your Sunday evening. I'll see you guys probably in Rat Stream if in the speakers chat if Rat goes live. Tomorrow I am going to be playing Witches X Warlock, where we're gonna go romance a vampire lady. No, not Juliet. Sadly, not Juliet. Different one. We're gonna go romance a vampire lady tomorrow. And Witches X Warlock. I will hope you guys there. I forgot to really put my. I've gushed to it. Not yet. I lied. We're not going anywhere yet. I have to do my 9 gushes, 9 squats. Oh. I have 9 squats to do for you guys because I have not done that I have not done them in ages. So I am free to do them now. I'm going to do them now. Got not. Port Gore. Thanks, Port Gothan. Fuck you. I'm wearing tight. That's what. 9 gushes clear. On. Oh. Oh, you're gonna catch me. You're gonna pick me up talking. See? I hate my. I hate my. Eight and 9. Now we're gonna go raid. Hope you all enjoyed the Like Sunday. Tomorrow, again, romancing a cute vampire lady. Not confused with Juliet. I know, sad. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a lovely fucking have a lovely rest of your evening. And again, I will hope to see you guys in Screamer Chat later. And yeah. Bye-bye.